Hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all the popular art that we love. Also,
mostly, you
do it drunk.
Mostly in this bitch. Yeah.
Also,
I'm
we
feeling
do
music today.
I'm your host, Jedi Master Grayson, and as always, I'm joined by your favorite cousin, Bill. How you doing, bro?
What's up? What's happening? Feeling it. I'm aggressive today.
Yeah, you got this aggressive energy.
I had a lot of problems today, man. Thanks for asking me how I'm doing. I have problems, man. It's mad, man.
Yeah,
all day, man. All day it's been issues, son. But you know what?
Problems type day. Yeah.
You know what though? I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that we're here, and I'm happy to get it in with you people.
Same. Like, you know, Mondays are usually pretty bad for most people who have day jobs or whatever. Have to go
Fucking
back to the regular.
Coors Light with that new commercial. Monday, they got Monday Coors Light. So you get a case. And so when you get a case, you get a case of
the Mondays.
Damn, ain't that crazy?
That I saw that during the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like, that's an interesting way to market that. I wouldn't want to buy a case of the Mondays.
If somebody told you in 1999 that a case of the Mondays would be a good thing or considered a good thing somewhere, you'd be like, get your ass out of here.
Right. I mean, it is Coors Light, so I guess it's not technically a good thing. The case of the Mondays.
No, you know what? That I'm not gonna yuck nobody's yum when it comes to alcoholic beverages, because we sit here and drink tequila, which most of America thinks makes you crazy.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's why I'm like, I'm just not gonna judge these weirdos. I mean, nerds. I mean, decent human beings.
Hey, we are all nerds here. This is a safe space for all nerddom.
Exactly.
And you know, I'm so excited about tonight because we're talking about Severance. Nerddom, yeah.
Oh no, I thought you said nerddom.
Oh no,
like
no, I did not just make up a word.
Like nigger and and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, nah, I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't merging words there.
I just thought you were being clever. My bad.
Nah, you know me. I'm not doing that. But we are talking about Severance. We are talking about Invincible, and as always, we're talking shit. But as always, it is much more fun talking shit with friends. He is practically family, but y'all just hate him because he's light skinned. Introducing to the stage, Oliver. What's going on, bro?
Woo! Mondays. A case of the Mondays? Shit. I bet you could get your ass kicked saying something like that.
Oh, no. Hell no. You get your ass kicked saying some shit like that.
Oh, man. That was such a good movie. And I remember, it's funny because back then it was like, is that one of Drew's friends from the Drew Carey show?
Yeah, buddy.
Like that was the only thing you knew him in. But like now he's had a couple of things. I mean, he was Batman for a while.
Yeah, Diedrich Bader. Yeah, he was he was really good on Harley Quinn as Batman.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's
not Batman anymore.
Sitcom now, that went for a couple seasons.
Is he not Batman anymore?
I mean, he wasn't the show. I'm sure he's still him on the show.
I'm just asking. I mean, because the show didn't have Batman in it.
I just don't know how much more they have.
Kite Man. Yeah,
Batman anymore. Because I mean, he went to jail on the show and everything, you know.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I ain't watching.
They never wrapped that storyline up. I guess he's still there.
Hadn't seen it.
But I mean, he was the voice of Bats for all of Brave and the Bold, wasn't
he?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, I never watched the Brave and the Bold, but
it was too cartoony, the animation style.
Yeah,
man, I don't know that Brave and the Bold. That sounds like a 80s song. We are the brave and the bold.
Yeah, by Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, that's my favorite Bruce Springsteen album, Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Plus, it was right after the Batman cartoon, and that was such a good cartoon.
You know what? The first season sucked, but the second, it got
agreed,
way better.
They
just got way better.
Up.
Yeah, definitely.
And I didn't know that until a couple of weeks ago. So I've just started watching it again. Like I'm trying to fight my way through season 1.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I don't not know anything. You know what I'm saying? So but I've fallen asleep several times, and I think that has more to do with the marijuana than it does the television show. So I'm not going to hold it against the show.
That was a pre-Netflix show. So I was catching up and watching it by buying the DVDs of the seasons.
Yeah, see, I remember watching it on cable. Yeah. I remember watching it on cable with a big 36-inch TV that was about 400 pounds.
Jeez.
You remember that 36-inch TV?
Yeah.
That was where I remember watching it on there. So,
dude, tube TVs were they were a double-edged sword because of, you still want a big screen, but it's like, well, let's reinforce the floor.
Reinforce the floor. It's gonna be hot. There's a bitch in here. Like we need to. It's
gonna be at least 10 degrees hotter with this TV on.
Like how big your TV, depending on how big that motherfucker was, it's gonna be hot in there.
that fun thing where you turn the TV off and the screen's black, but still somehow giving off light.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for like 20 minutes, still just emitting.
You just put the popcorn next to the TV and let it cook.
It's funny that you even mentioned Office Space earlier, because the creator of that movie, Mike Judge, he plays a prominent role in the show that you're going to be covering on Thursdays on Bantha, doesn't he? Mike Judge, creator of King of the Hill.
Yeah, that's right.
Songs.
That's right, because I'm gonna be talking about. I actually know what I'm gonna be talking about. Hey, ask me.
Oh, what are you guys going to be talking about this Thursday on the?
If Bill says I don't know, I'll be so happy.
I don't know. No, I'm joking. We're going to be talking about the new Adult Swim television show, Common Side Effects. I wish we were covering it on here because I'll be interested to hear what you guys got to say about the show. But very good show. I don't want to ruin anything, but we're going to be breaking it down every Thursday at 8:15 p.m. Pacific time. And I already did an episode talking about it last week. They had the first 2 episodes drop, the pilot episode and then the second episode. So go check it out after this. God damn, slow down. After this, I need you to go check it out. But yeah, come hang out with us every Thursday. We're going to be talking about Common Side Effects. You got plenty of time to catch up. It's on HBO Max. If you don't have like TV, regular TV, it's on Adult Swim every Sunday at 11:30. And then, yeah, like I said, it's on Max every Monday. So just right now, after we finish, go watch it.
Yeah.
Smoke you a blunt and go watch it. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you're into that. Yeah, it's a really great show. Honestly, it's the animation's so weird, and the story that the premise is pretty fantastic. And like just 2 episodes in, I already know it's a lock for best animated series for the Drunkies next year.
Maybe, but it is catching steam. Like there's a groundswell that's kind of starting to happen for it. If you just type it into your YouTube search, you're just gonna have that shit for the next 2 weeks. That's all you're gonna see is fucking Common Side Effects, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it yet, but I saw the little placard for it on Max, and then I just looked it up on Google here. The animation style looks like if Studio Ghibli wrote stories in like the modern times.
Yeah, it is very Ghibli like vibes. Yeah, it really is. It really
Which
is.
Which is really interesting for Mike Judge.
Yeah, it's like, and as far as I know, he's just an actor on the show.
As far as we know, yeah. But I am.
You haven't gotten to the twist yet. They used his blood for the inks. Yeah.
Shout out to Lil Frothy, by the way. Shout out to Lil Frothy, by the way, and shout out to Fifth Bantha. You know what I'm saying? Y'all always like some of the first to comment, so I wanted to shout y'all out, man. Hell yeah, let's get it in. Welcome. But as Alex said, it is always better to do this show with our friends,
indeed,
just like Jeff. But also, we got Producer T.
Producer T in the building.
Oh, hold on. Y'all need to check. If anybody's playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure, I gotta let y'all know I'm so ready for y'all. Look at this. Look at this shit. Check that bad boy out. Check that bitch out.
Oh, let's
Oh,
do it. I play
shit.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Jesus Christ.
Shit.
You need that to play
Yeah.
a child's game.
Yeah, boy.
That's like 121 gigawatts.
Bill,
that's
don't
1.21.
kink shame.
Let's go for it.
No, yeah, that's 1.21 gigawatts for sure. Motherfucker got a flux capacitor.
Okay, truth is, as you know, I've been trying to increase my productivity for NerdsatNite, and my last computer was starting to lag on me in Premiere, so I had to get me a beast so I could start cracking these babies out. So get ready for part 2 for Black History of Internet viral moments. That's basically done. I just need to put everything together, and then eventually I'll have Top Boy part 2 of season 2 also coming out. And if anybody's about to get Civilization 7, that's really why I bought this new computer.
So there will be a lot of productivity taking place, but there will also be breaks.
There will be some procrastination.
Oh man, I got these double screen. I can multitask. This thing can multitask. Doing both.
I am looking forward to that Black History. I am looking forward to that Black History video. That part 1 was really fucking awesome. There was a lot of people that I kind of forgot about. And like the Chocolate Rain dude. That was
I need to see if he emailed us back yet. I emailed him, I hit him up. I'm like, hey, because he recently did an interview where he's like, people didn't know what Chocolate Rain was about, it was about racism. And I was like, no, man, I knew. Here's my proof. Here's my video I did about you.
Yeah,
come talk with us.
And so we will continue it right now. Come talk with us, everybody. Go hit him up right now. Tell him, look, dog, you bullshitting. Drunk Banthas tried to hit you up. NerdsatNite tried to hit you up. What the fuck, dog?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
He's writing the sequel, Chocolate Typhoon.
You got to go bigger in the sequel.
Chocolate rain, chocolate rain.
And
I got songs today. God damn it!
Before we,
you forgot to tell them about the junkies.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Hey, you should probably tell them.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, like I mentioned, that Common Side Effects is definitely going to be a nominee for the Drunkies next year, but we just finished up the Drunkies on Saturday. It was a pretty great time.
You guys already did them this year, man.
Right, I totally forgot about it. And like when you were like 30 minutes, I was like, okay, I'll remember. And then I forgot again.
Yeah, that's better if one of us did forget.
No, man. It was so much fun having you in.
Forgot how quickly you get drunk after you don't drink for a couple of months.
No, it was perfect. Actually, it would have gone sour, I believe, if had you not been there. It definitely got lit, and
glad
also
to swing by and get distracted by shiny things in the room.
And also, he thought he was going to be leaving before we finished, and then he was there the whole time.
I wasn't planning on staying
too long.
And then I was like, but the next one I want to talk about too. Oops.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun time. I was a couple of upsets, some people that won the awards that you wouldn't have expected. If you are hey, what's up, confirmation bias?
Confirmation bias.
Fantastic username.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Fantastic. Are you a YouTuber? Do you have YouTube stuff? Shout out to him, though. Go follow him, whatever he does. Just go subscribe to that.
Yeah, with that name, you got to have a YouTube channel.
Who cares if he gives you content? Just go subscribe to that.
He deserves to subscribe for the name in the picture.
Seriously,
that's pretty
crazy.
It's pretty great. You should be creating content, just even if you don't have nothing to say.
Yes.
But yeah, like we finished up
himself.
We finished up the Drunkies on Saturday. You can watch the show in its entirety if you are a monthly member. But never fret if you still want to watch the Drunkies. The truncated, edited version will be coming out next week.
Yeah, you can cheat right now for at least the next 2-3 hours and go get it on Nerds at Night because we haven't taken it down yet.
Okay, I need to remember to do that.
That's what I said. Yeah, no, for at least the next 3 hours. That's it.
But yeah, so we'll be getting the full the edited version coming out next week.
Setting up things in his Google Calendar.
He's like,
I would change it right now if I wasn't afraid that my computer would explode.
Yeah, but you can actually do it right now. Actually.
But the edited version will be coming out next week. We'll be releasing all of the winners and the nominees tomorrow on the community page, just so you can see who won. But if you want to get in on the nitty gritty discourse, check out the actual Drunkies show.
Yeah, it's 99 cents. You can check it out for 99 cents on the Drunk Banthas channel, and you can then cancel it right after that if you want, but you won't because there's so much good shit there.
Yeah, if you want to see the sloppy version before the clean version comes
sloppy version, sloppy toppy version,
no, it's just the three of us, so that's not what's happening.
Oh yeah,
hey girl, hey,
hey girl, hey.
Talk about it.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Oh yeah, I just also want to remind you guys to consider perusing through our merch store where we have hats, hoodies, shirts, mugs, and all kinds of cool stuff with our stupid name on it. You can find that in the merch or store tab in YouTube. I forget which because I don't really be going there. But you guys should go there.
You should go there. And we already have cool stuff. We already have stuff. Why would we go on there? You guys go on there and tell us what we need to change and tell us what to put on there. You know, it's cool.
Yeah, if you got any ideas for merch, let us know.
Confirmation bias says much appreciated. Laughing my ass off.
We give credit where credit's due.
That's
here.
Right. Better be glad I don't have my applause button no more. It's going down. You just be giving you mad applause. It still just be going right now. Alex would be mad trying to read everything. It'd be crazy.
Oh, the good old days. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what we're talking about. And let's head down the street around the corner to Jeff's comic book corner. Jeff, or as they say in Spanish, Jefe. What are we talking about today?
I was about to say, I thought you were going to say, as they say in Spanish, Jeff.
Well, today we are doing a bit of a rarity. We're taking a run at one of the big two, and we're covering a Batman story, but we're covering Batman White Knight, one of the best Batman stories that's come out in years. This one actually came out like right around lockdown time, so it got good. It got good.
Okay.
So issue 1 starts with a pretty typical opening to a Batman story. We see the Batmobile driving into Arkham Asylum. And this one's looking really cool. For some reason, like we've got like it's hard to see in this picture, and I didn't capture for the next ones, but you see like flames literally shooting out the sides of the Batmobile and stuff. It's really cool. And the Batmobile stops out front, and a guard's like, "Oh, come on, he's this way," and Batman's just like, "No, I know the way." And he's like, "How is he?" As the guards are unlocking the doors. But then after they unlock the door, we see Batman sitting in a cell in chains. And then when they show the person outside, it's actually so the guards are like, he's been real quiet. He hasn't said a word, I'm sorry, Mr. Napier. And then we see Jack Napier, the Joker, looking human, standing in a bat saying, "I need help." The next page takes us back 1 year. And in this one, we've got a pretty typical story, one that we're used to. It's the Joker just running away from the bats, but it's while he's wearing a Batman shirt, because why not? And it's pretty hilarious because at first I was like, oh, he's rollerblading. It took me a couple panels to realize, no. He's running away from the Batmobile on a hoverboard. So it's pretty great. But one thing that makes this book immediately different than a lot of Batman stories is there's a lot of dialogue, and so obviously a lot of actual writing in this. So the Joker starts by trying to, he goes and he jumps over this bridge that's raising, and Batman's obviously taking after him, but Batgirl's in this passage. She's like, and she's screaming. She's like, "Oh my God, there's a fairy! There's a fairy! There's a fairy! There's a fairy! There's a fairy!" And Batman doesn't give a shit and just keeps going, jumps the bridge over the ferry, and comes down hard on the other side. And the Joker's loving it. He's like, "Oh, great! Well, you know what? For the next one, let's go do some roof driving." And the Joker takes the hoverboard and starts, bouncing from roof to roof. But Batman then takes the Batmobile and he's doing the same. He's jumping and he's hitting all these roofs. And Batgirl's screaming out, "There's people living in these buildings. How do you know they're not going to crumble?" And the Joker just doesn't care. He's having the time of his life. And now he's yelling out, "Ooh, ooh, crowd work." And he runs into this construction site. And he's going by, typical Joker fashion, swinging in and swinging out. But Batman's still chasing him in the Batmobile. And it gets to a point where literally Nightwing has to swing in on his motorcycle and he's grabbing construction workers because Batman's not slowing down. And now Nightwing's starting to really just, he's starting to just tear into Bats. He's like, "Hey, you want to take it back a bit?" And he looks over at Batgirl and he literally says, "Hey, get a tighter leash on him, Babs." And she just is screaming out, "Dude, he's not listening. He doesn't listen anymore." And the Joker's taken off and Batman is just he's heading into that building while just completely ignoring them. So as Batman, pops off his grappling gun and starts flying away. Babs jumps onto the back of the motorcycle and she's like, "He's getting worse and I don't know what to do." And Nightwing's just like, "Do what I did and fucking leave." And then they take off after both of them. Now at this point, they're getting closer, but then also they stop because there's a security guard on the ground and decently hurt. But it turns out Batman knocked him down. And guys, I was just trying to tell him where the Joker was going. And they're like, "God, what's going on?" And then we see Bats in the building and he's going after Joker and Joker's doing his typical taunting Batman and stuff. And now Joker's just starting to be like, we're the power couple of Gotham. Everyone loves us. And he's like, this isn't a relationship. And Joker's like, "Oh, of course it is. I challenge you. You raise to the occasion, become stronger. Face it. We're Gotham's power couple, and couples, we're supposed to fight." Then back outside, we see Nightwing and Batgirl, and they're trying to figure some stuff out. And they're like, "What's the Joker got in there? Guns?" And the guards goes, "No, pills." And they're like, "What? Pills? What the hell does the Joker want with pills?" They're like, "Shit, we got to get in there." So they take off and they head back in while the GCPD's outside, and they're like, "What's going on out here?" Inside, typical, Batman's beating the shit out of Joker. But now Joker's starting to just dismantle him with words. Batman's, Joker's like, "Oh, come on, we're a team. I know you're not going to acknowledge it, but you know it." And Batman tries being all tough. And he's like, you want to know what the truth is? The truth is you don't matter. Not to Gotham, not to me, not to anyone. And then the Joker is like, "Oh, you want to go there? Okay." And then he starts, and the thing is, the writing in this one's fantastic. He just really starts tearing into Batman. And some of these are so good. He just goes, "After all these years, you still have no idea what I'm capable of. I could have beaten you at any point, turned this city completely against you whenever I wanted, but I chose to hold back because I was just giving you only what you could handle, not all I could give." And Batman's like, "Come on, okay, you done, whatever." And, starts attacking him again. And then Joker says, "I'm the only one who really knows you, Batman. Your vigilantism isn't about justice, it's about control. Fixing this city is your pathetic way of salvaging the broken bits of your anima. But you were too stupid to see that it hasn't worked. Crime has become your therapy and Gotham your victim. You dragged us all into your perpetual Halloween." And Batman fucking loses it. He starts really laying into Joker. I mean, Joker's clearly beaten. You can take him to jail at any point. And Batman is just bam, bam, bam. And now Joker's like, "Oh, what's wrong? Can't take the truth, you little true chat. Hard to hear." And he's like, "Shut up." and he sees Batgirl and Nightwing over there, and he goes, "Is that Nightwing or Robin? I can't tell. All your Robins keep disappearing." Batman's like, "Enough!" And he's just beating the shit out of him. And then this is where it gets real crazy. It's just a full page of Batman just beating the crap out of the Joker. And it's beautiful, the artwork, but the savagery's beyond. Where it gets really crazy is then the Joker lying there. Literally can't even lift his head up. He's holding a bottle of pills at Bats, and he's just like, "You are nothing. What you're doing is not working. You know it's not working. You just can't give it up. And you know what? All I would need are these little pills, and I could win. I could take it over. I could take you out." And Batman's like, "Yeah, fine." So then Batman, not realizing that someone's got their cell phone out recording him, he literally takes this random thing of pills he finds on the floor, pops the top off, and shoves them all literally down the Joker's throat. I mean, like, he's pouring them in while everyone is standing there watching. Montoya, Bullock, Batgirl, Nightwing, Commish, all of them are standing there while Joker's literally choking. He can't breathe because Batman's holding these pills down into his throat. And as Joker's just lying there, bloody, just coming back to consciousness because he can finally breathe again, whoever had that phone puts it away and just walks off. So the next couple of pages are just like, they're the news in Gotham. And there's these two people going back and forth. And what we find out is the citizenry are pissed. The fact is, they've already been angry at GCPD, and it's alluded to that, they're already talking about, they're calling it Batgate, this big scandal. But they're alluding to the race riots. It's obviously supposed to be an allegory for the BLM movement and all the marches and protests and how out of hand those were all getting. But they're talking about how, the GCPD is just getting past those. And now we have Batman doing it too. There's footage out on the internet of him just literally pouring unknown medications down the Joker's throat. And while this one woman's just sitting there and just saying, she's just reporting on what all of the common people are saying. This other guy's like, "Who gives a shit? He's the Joker. I can't believe anyone would defend him. You know who we defend? We defend the cops. And if they got to get a little rough, they got to get a little rough." Shockingly, it's just a lot of very common news coverage from certain pundits, we'll say. One of the things I love the most is the woman reporting. She's just like, this is clearly police brutality. This is clearly this is furthering the people's worries about corruption and all that. And this old white dickweed guy is like, that was the previous commissioner. It's not this commissioner. And he actually says, the SJWs have to give him a chance. And it's like, oh, fuck that. Anyway. So from there, we go to the hospital and we see the Joker is just in bad fucking shape. I mean, he has got all these tubes in him and everything. And now it's Gordon, Montoya, and Bullock. And Bullock is saying, like, Batman's a maniac. I'm just glad people are finally seeing it. And it's so funny because Montoya turns to Bullock and she's snapping at him. She's like, "Hey, he's saved every cop, including you." And like, it's weird when you're backing Bullock, but at one point Bullock says to the commissioner, "This is bullshit. If he had a badge, you would have arrested him a while ago." And Gordon's just like, we'll pick this up later. I gotta go, because he notices Batgirl climbing in. And Batgirl's just like, I mean, how is he? And Gordon's just like, "We're not sure. He hasn't said a word since he's been brought in. But, I mean, we don't know what was in those pills. We don't know the dosage. We don't know anything." And Batman was just shoving them down his throat. And, Batman Batgirl's just like, oh, God, will he be okay? And Gordon's like, I mean, his physical isn't what I'm worried about. I'm worried about his mental. And then we get some really interesting pages. We get this one, which is obviously this montage of all these different moments of the Joker, his career, his, going from becoming the Joker and then some of the terrible things he's done and back in. But then at the bottom of it, we've got the Joker lying there, like, pushing on his head, like he's in anguish. Obviously just kind of pointing out like this is some sort of mental battle that's going on in him. And then the next page, he's sitting up gasping, but he's not the Joker anymore. This is just a normal dude waking up, coming out of it in his room in this jail cell. And that's when we kind of realize like this is Jack Napier. It's not the Joker. And it's weird because, I mean, he's in this room with all this Batman memorabilia and stuff, but he's clearly like, just the way he's looking, sitting there, it's like someone coming out of like a deep fog or something, So anyway, after that, we cut back to Batman and the Bat Gang. And Nightwing's just like, dude, what the hell were you thinking? And Batman's just like, yeah, keep it down, Dick. There's some other people in here. And Barbara's just like, we're worried about you, Bruce. Like, what are you doing? And like, what's going on? And Batman's just like, the pills are a mystery, hard to even determine what was in them. It's like they were designed to be elusive. And now Nightwing and Batgirl in front of Batman are just like, he's not even talking to us anymore. He's just ignoring us again. He's just going on to it. And, they're pleading with him like, come on, please just let us in. He's like, fine, come with me. And I do love Dick just makes a really great joke. He goes, do you own any buildings without secret passages? Which I thought that was good. But anyway, so then Batman takes them downstairs and they go into this lab. And that's where they see Alfred. And Alfred is lying in a hospital bed with some oxygen and obviously not looking so good. And they're asking, they're like, what's wrong with him? And Bruce just goes, he's dying. And they're like, of what? And Bruce just goes, I don't know. And they're asking like, how long's he been like this? And Bruce is saying, a month. And then Dick looks over and he notices these tubes going into Alfred. He's like, that's Freeze's. Are you working with Mr. Freeze? And Batman's like, we've been able to make progress for both of them. And Babs is just like, well, why didn't you even tell us? And then Bruce just kind of starts breaking down and he's just like, I was hoping I could fix it. I didn't want you to see him like this. And yeah, so from there we cut back to the jail cell. Cause I mean, I guess this is Arkham. But now we've got almost an entire page of dialogue from Joker. And he's just talking and he's saying, when I was young, I loved Gotham. It was this intriguing place. It had so much wonder. It was like the center of the universe. That's what I was told before I ran away. And he goes, but it was a lie. Gotham was just as boring as the farm, which is interesting because I never knew that Joker came from a farm. But he keeps going and he's like, so I tried to spice it up. I tried to make him laugh. And he's like, oh, but then I sucked at comedy. And, so I tried to elicit another emotion, trying to get the people from being numb. It's like Gotham had to awaken, they had to, if I couldn't do it with humor, I was going to do with something more potent. And he's like, so he just says terror. So I turned to crime. And I managed to get a rise out of him. And he's like, but then you came and then, it kept going and it kept going. And the part that I really loved was, and then he says, I want to read this one. He says, you hated me and I loved it because love and hate are the same, but now it's over and it was over long ago. I just didn't want to admit it. And now I'm forced to ask myself what happened. Did you change or did I ever really know you at all? And the thing is, outside of that window, Batman is standing there. He's watching him. So Joker, while he seems like he's just going off on tangents, he knows what he's doing and he's talking to Batman. So from there, we're taken to an office within Arkham. And, someone's yelling. They're like, I mean, are people's attention spans that short? How are they actually believing this? They're they're worried about the Joker, and it's Gordon and the guy in charge of Arkham talking. He's like, it's not just about Joker, it's about police brutality. And he's like, and the guy's like, well, you were supposed to fix the department, Jim. And this is where Gordon goes, I spent last year cleaning up, cracked down on corruption, and suspended officers who sparked the race riots. And it's like, the GCPD is clean. It's Batman who screwed up. And this guy's like, yeah, well, you know what? You were the one who insisted we turn a blind eye to Batman. How'd that work? And then Gordon's like, I mean, I'll talk to him. I'll make it work again. And then this guy's like, there shouldn't be a Batman. You're a cop. You should do your job, so we don't need a Batman around. Which is, it's interesting because in the more realistic Batman stories and movies, this is a very central theme, I feel like. Well, anyway, so then, the guy gets paged and like, Dr. Leslie Tompkins is here. And he's like, send her in. And he's like, how is he? And Leslie Tompkins is like, she says, Jack Napier made a full recovery. It took a lot of plastic surgery and a lot of stitches, but he's physically he's going to be fine. And they're like, and the guy's like, oh, thank God, then maybe he won't sue us. And she's like, physically he's healed, but I mean, I'm worried about what's going on with his condition mentally. And they're like, what are you talking about? He's the Joker. It's all mental. And she goes, no, not anymore. There's no laughter. There's no smile, no makeup. There's no Joker. And they're like, what? And she goes, we might not know what was in those pills, but they seem to have worked. The Joker seems cured. She's like, and they're like, no. He's messing with you. We've seen him do this. And she's like, he can't mess with CAT scans, and he can't mess with IQ. Like these are, we've done multiple CAT scans, IQ tests. He's testing well above the level of a genius now. And they're like, where? And they're freaking out. Like, where is he? And she says, he's in the Arkham's library. He's been there for 3 days straight working. And they're like, working on what? And this is where she goes, his legal case. He's looking to file charges against the GCPD, Batman, and Gotham City. And I got to tell you guys, after seeing the way he is now, if I were you, I'd be worried. And by the way, another beautiful shot of Joker just in this, in that library. I mean, I had to cut it down a bit, but I mean, like the stacks go higher, the spiral staircase, all of it. It's a really beautiful artwork in this book as well. So anyway, then we see Gordon and I don't know, Dr. Arkham. I don't know the guy's name. And they're like, well, can't we like just stop him? Like can't we just go in there and make it so he's not allowed to like stop him from looking at all this stuff? And Gordon's like, it's all public record. These are his constitutional rights. And the guy's like, well, like, what about like there's pencils and like hard edges to books. We'll get him on that. And Gordon just tells him, he's like, listen, he's like, Napier's never been a cutter. He's never been even rude to any of these guards. Frankly, if we go in there and we start trying to bully him like that, we're just going to look bad. And he's like, so we're going to do the only thing we can. And he's like, and they're like, what are we doing? And he goes, we're going to bring him in. And they get this really cool image of them just walking Napier in with his hands cuffed behind his back. And they're like, we're going to have a conversation with Jack Napier. And they sit him down and Gordon goes, Joker. And he goes, Mr. Napier will actually do. And Gordon's like, okay, whatever. How are you feeling? And he starts talking. And this is really interesting because while he's talking, he's also just quite easily picking the locks to his cuffs. And he says he's heartbroken and he's like angry, almost like a jilted lover. And he goes, and it's interesting because he's still hitting on the Batman Joker relationship premise, but he's not doing it sociopathically now. He's doing it. He's very cognizant. He's very together when he's talking now. So anyway, then he's like, so I'm assuming you're here to make me an offer. And they're like, you're lucky, Gordon's like, you're lucky we don't have time to your sentence. And Napier goes, for escaping and stealing a scooter, please. And he says, Batman caused more damage than I did. And they're like, there's evidence. They're like, well, there's plenty of evidence and eyewitnesses, but given your injuries, we're willing to. And Napier cuts him off. He's like, no, I want to go to trial. And they're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, listen, the fact of the matter is, Batman's reckless, and it's your fault. And they're like, what? Excuse me? And this was another one that I just wanted it was so good I wanted to read it verbatim. He says, then he endangered a construction site by plowing into a cement truck, injuring 3 people. He knocked over an innocent guard and trespassed onto private property, destroying thousands of dollars of medical equipment while he assaulted me as I was trying to surrender. Rather than arresting him, you and a dozen officers stood by while he forced an unknown medication down my throat until I stopped breathing. And add all that up, and what do we have? Reckless endangerment, destruction of public and private property, a dozen different traffic violations, assault and attempted murder by lethal dosage. If you won't arrest Batman, then I have no choice but to file suit against the GCPD to answer for his crimes. Here, go back one picture. And this is the part that I love. They're like, well, he's not a part of GCPD. And Joker says, doesn't matter. I've got the proof that you're in partnership with him. And they're like, what are you talking about? He goes, the bat signal. It's on the roof. I got all of the, he goes, I found photos of it, and I know where it's there. And that makes you guys an accessory. And I love, just Bullock there just goes, oh, shit. And then to end the issue, we get this full page picture of a very sane looking Joker just saying, I love Gotham, and it's time I paid her back for the debt owed by the Joker. The city deserves better than you, better than the Joker, and better than the Dark Knight. So I'm going to be her White Knight. And that's the end of issue 1 of Batman the White Knight.
Ooh, Delali. Internever official said, Joker said, get your 12 white folks and take that shit to trial. Shout out to the last Mr. Biggs.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, there's a couple of interesting, I guess, influences from other stories. We were talking about Harley Quinn before.
Producer T, you're muted, bud.
Sorry, you were muted, buddy. What did you say?
I was like, just serve your jail sentence. Like, I'm going to be a white. No, you're going to just sit there and do your jail time, dude. I'm glad you're cured, but you're going to jail forever. You're not.
First off,
no.
Shout out to Laura. What is that? What's the last name? I can't read it from here.
Madalena.
Shout out to Laura. Appreciate you from coming through. She says, hey there. I just finished watching the episode and YouTube recommended this live.
Well, thank you, YouTube.
Talking about
sweet.
What you call it? Severance.
Severance.
What are we talking about? Severance? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about Severance soon. But yeah, like it's an interesting premise for this comic because, like, Batman is he's always on the edge of becoming completely unhinged in these kinds of stories. And I've even we talked about Harley Quinn before. There was a storyline where Joker becomes reformed, but he doesn't necessarily use his reform nature to just actively go after the GCP and the Batman. So this is interesting, just sort of playing off of especially when the book came out, this is ripe with conversations about police brutality.
Yes, but I was wrong about it wasn't during the lockdown. This came out, it was between October 2017 and May 2018.
Oh, okay. Well, shit, it's just ahead of its time. Well, I guess unfortunately, police brutality is an evergreen premise. So
I think that was one of those ones where they're like, "What's a story that whenever someone reads it, they'll be able to connect?" And they're like, "Well, I've got something, sir.
I've got something horrible."
Well,
yeah.
Put it on the timestamp. I'm about to make a segue.
Okay.
I got the parts online, and you can refurbish them, and you can put it together yourself.
Wait, what?
A segue. Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that what Joker was riding when he escaped from Batman in the beginning of the book?
But no, y'all make sure you come back here every Monday right here, 8:15 p.m. Pacific time, and make sure you catch Jeff's Comic Book Corner. We do it every week. Yeah, that one was actually a longer one, but I really like that one.
The amount of dialogue definitely stretches it out.
Yeah, they got a lot of dialogue in that one.
And I like dialogue heavy comics. Like
because you're there to read.
Yeah. I'm here to read, sir.
But we do need to move on to the Fifth Bantha got jokes.
8:15. We were like 2 minutes late tonight.
No, we was 1 minute late. Started at 8:16 on the dot.
Yeah, we were pretty now the drunkies, that was all kinds of late.
Oh my god.
Well, thank God. Otherwise I wouldn't have made it.
Everything comes together
like butt cheeks. And this might as well go on to our next topic of the night. That's right. We're talking about Apple TV Plus's original TV series.
That's shit. Shucky ducky quack quack. I'm about to fucking light up this blunt.
Yeah, Severance season 2.
Clove cigarette.
Right, exactly.
Out there.
Well, blunts aren't specifically,
No, don't.
You can be smoking Swisher Sweet.
That's not what it says on the package. So you just relax.
That Swisher Sweet commercial from that episode of Atlanta.
I watched that episode of Atlanta yesterday.
Dog. Yesterday. We just was watching Atlanta yesterday.
I was like, yo,
for hours.
Yeah.
Like
for like 6 hours.
For hours. We watched Atlanta all the way leading up to the Super Bowl, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
From like 8 o'clock in the morning until the Super Bowl started. We were watching Atlanta. It was ridiculous. I left and still watched Atlanta. I left. It's ridiculous.
Like, just keep watching it. Yes, that's right. We're talking about Severance, season 2, episode 4.
Take a bite of this sandwich.
Bite this sandwich. You guys want to just talk about Atlanta? No, I'm just
Where's the dog?
So read us the rundown of episode. Oh wait, no, not you.
Yeah, before we get into the nitty gritty of before we get into the minutia of this episode, let's talk about initial thoughts. Producer T, what were your initial thoughts on this episode of Severance?
That it's gone just as about as the other episodes have gone for me, and the fact that I don't watch the show.
Well,
yes,
for Invincible.
I was hoping I would ask the person who hasn't watched the show yet first. So we got that out of the way. But are you interested in Severance at all? Like, have you been hearing the scuttlebutt about this crazy ass show?
No, I mean that's about as much as I've heard you guys say it's a crazy show, and I don't have Apple TV, so I've been like downloading stuff.
Oh well, I gotta put it in the. I think I put it on the drive, but maybe I didn't.
Somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, but the password somewhere. I'll make sure it gets on the drive. So everybody, make sure they have Apple TV because we're gonna be covering Apple TV Plus. We should be sponsored by Apple TV.
We really should
because we watch all their shit. Well, we cover it when no one else does.
Every time they drop a thing,
the fact that Laura shit popped up and it said us, that just shows you that nobody talks about this show because our live doesn't show up for anybody.
I am crushing through the Wool series. I'm on book 2 Shift.
Wool series.
And the cover itself for Silo.
Silo. What
Solo CCs.
The series is called Wool.
Oh, okay, yeah, because there's Wool and is Dust the one after that?
Yeah, that's that's the last one,
penultimate one or whatever.
So, Alex, how did you feel about this first episode? Jesus fucking! How'd you feel about this goddamn show? Episode 4.
First of all, I just do want to say real quick, all the props to Ted Lasso, because I would not be watching Apple TV Plus if Ted Lasso didn't bring me into this, which is so funny because Ted Lasso is completely different than all of the other shows
Everything.
that I love about about this channel. So like I didn't know that this was going to be just like basically a prestige sci-fi streaming service, and like Severance continues to kill it. And this episode is just raised a lot of questions, like considering especially the ending of the last episode. I'm very curious of like where Mark S is. This is a Mark ass episode. We got a lot of marks in this episode of the podcast.
You're a Mark.
But I really enjoyed this one. It was very intriguing. A lot of things are revealed, but I'm just like, as always, I'm intrigued of what's going to happen next. I just cannot wait to see what's going to happen next on this show. What about you?
I thought it sucked. No, I'm joking. It was a slower episode. One of those episodes where you don't get nothing answered. But you can't be mad about that while you're watching this show, because if you watch season 1, nothing got answered until the last episode, and really they only answered like 3 questions. So this episode had a lot of lure, heavy lure. So when it feels like you didn't get anything, you really did get a lot. We got these Dieter Egan stories. And we'll get more depth in more depth. We'll talk more about that shit going forward. Yeah. I'm sorry, my brain's not working really well, and I'm mostly angry, but I'm having a good time with y'all. And also, I'm in a lot of pain. I feel like I think I tore my pectoral muscle. But what are you gonna do? Things happen.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do, man? You know? But Jeff, how did you feel there about that there? Episode 4.
Well, at first I was annoyed because I was like, you motherfuckers, just tell me what happened with Mark. I know you guys like to make us work for the answers, but I just want to fucking know. Anyway, after that, because I mean, the way the last episode ended, we were like, finally, and then we're like, no. But
yeah.
So obviously it started off just being confusing as shit. And I'm going to agree with Bill, what you said. It was a slow episode. And with what Fifth Bantha said in the comments, every reveal on this show leads to more questions. Now, that being said, while this episode it was a slower moving episode, it did a really good job of making me feel tense the entire time. Like something bad's about to happen. I felt that way the entire episode. Which was really awkward when they started boning. But anyway, but so that while it was about to come in, right? Which that was real creepy when that happened in the Super Bowl commercial.
Right, I was like, that's all I could think about was this episode when that seal commercial
Jesus
happened.
Christ. Yeah,
but so it was interesting because the episode did actually move slowly, but it kept my interest and attention the entire time, which is, I don't know if I've ever seen an episode do those two things at the same time before. And while we didn't get many answers, we did get a couple. First, we got the answer to what we were thinking from episode 1 of season 2. Every time we've seen Ellie on the Severance floor, or Helly, I always want to call her Ellie. Every time we see Ellie on the Severance floor, that's Audi Helly. And we were right. 2, we've got with Irv. Something's happening with him because, like, when he was having that weird, creepy dream or whatever. So the letters on his terminal evidently spelled out Egan, and then and we briefly see that picture of Ellie. So yeah, something in his dreams is breaking through, but it's not just his Audi, because his Audi doesn't know these things either, or at least he's, it's so something
Audi doesn't know.
Audi doesn't know. So something else is happening with Irv there. And the other thing we got is this lore. All of the lore from this episode, first off, hilarious. And it's only hilarious because of how fervently Milch believed it. He was so upset.
Milkshake was not playing around.
No, he was not.
Y'all start playing with my lore, goddammit.
But
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm curious what you guys thought about the lore. But I want to get to
let's get to what we need to do. You got it. We just excited because me and Alex really love this show, and it's surprising that everyone else loves it because nobody was watching it when we were watching it, and we slipped up on it. At the same time, I saw him watching it, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" He's like, "Oh, it's this show called Severance." I thought he was catching up on it, but because we watched like 4 episodes at a time, and I was like, "Oh, this is an interesting show that Alex is catching up on," and I just thought I just so happened to catch him, but no, he had not ever seen it either. Like, and I was just like, "Oh shit, we're watching it together." Oh shit, I didn't know this is like a year after the damn show had gone off. I'm like, "Damn, we watched it." That's crazy. So we really love this show and love that everybody else is coming around the same way.
This show's especially out. So my dad has worked in office buildings pretty much his whole adult life. He had never seen the movie Office Space until 10 years ago yet now. It was literally the day he, my brother, and me moved me into Austin. That night, my brother and I were like, "It's insane you've never seen Office Space." So we made him watch it. And he's like, "This is fucking hilarious." We're like, "Yes, everyone who's ever worked in an office needs to see Office Space. Everyone who's ever worked in an office needs to see Severance."
Yes.
You know what? Yeah. Well, for sure. Like, one of the things I really like about Severance is that it as relatable as it is to people who have worked in as relatable as to people who have worked in an office. It's not like, I don't feel like it's like so much as like Office Space or like waiting is for servers. Like as much as it has like it's touching on a couple of like similarities with office work life and how compartmentalized it is. One of the things I like about it is like that's like 7% of what the show is. Like
I slightly disagree.
Most of it is
because I've worked in a cubicle space and I disagree. It's about how it doesn't. It is exactly like if you worked in a cubicle setting, then you know exactly why this is very similar. Why this is because it becomes more mundane. The work is more mundane when you have cubicles. When the whole thing is more mundane. Everything is the same all the time. This definitely hits on those points as a person who does go into work every single day doing the same old.
I have a mundane office job right now.
Yeah, but I'm talking about cubicle setting. When there's cubicles involved, that is it's a psychological thing that is different.
Right.
You got cubicles with the light, and it's like it is a different setting.
No, it's definitely like a main part of the show for sure, and especially the first season. But like what I'm saying is like I appreciate how much bigger this show is. It's not just like a show about being in the office, because that would just be the fucking office. But the show is just like using that natural convention and like putting a sci-fi twist on it and being able to talk about like bigger issues and just like crazy mystery box theories. Like I like the fact that they're able to take that little nugget and spread it out like so much more interestingly narratively.
We don't have anything to say to what you just said. Well, you got to read this one first for it to make sense.
Hey guys, greetings from Colombia.
That's Laura. Laura says, "Hey
What's
guys,
up, Laura
from Colombia," and producer Terry says, "I have a clone there in Bogota."
I'll have proof. End of March.
That's
when the new system comes online. I activate them, and I'll prove it to you.
Yeah, it's called Project Phoenix.
Producer T is like Nate Dogg. He has got clones in different area codes.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, I said Prodigy.
Also, speaking of clones and clones being in your neighborhood, y'all will be getting a visit from a clone in a week and a half.
That's right. I got it on my calendar. Yeah, I got it on my calendar. Producer T in LA, the 20th, right? February 20th.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy week for me, dude. It's Lil Frothy's birthday. It's my homie Marcus' birthday. It's Valentine's Day. Terry's gonna be here. It's gonna be lit.
It's a lot going on.
And then next month we're gonna be at WonderCon. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, next month. Yeah.
But anyway,
so in this episode, just to break down what's going on, MDR find themselves in the outside world on a frozen lake. A pre-recorded message from Milchek directs them to find the previously unrevealed fourth appendix to the Lumen Handbook, written by the founder Kirstyn IG.
I thought you only got one.
Wait, what?
I thought you only got one appendix.
Yeah, right. It's like the Egans are exceptional. They have
right.
Four
oh yeah, no, my bad. You're right.
It's like that episode of Zim where he has like 8 hearts and like 3 stomachs.
Stole all the body parts. That's actually hilarious. Good reference.
Yeah, head pigeons.
Yeah, head pigeons. It's a very serious condition. Head pigeons.
Such a good show.
But written the Lumen Handbook, written by founder Kirstyn IG, by following the directions of strange doppelgangers of themselves. Now there is a lot going on here.
Carry on,
but I am curious because like we talked about I almost brought this up earlier, but I'm curious of what you guys think about this new appendix of the Lumen lore.
It made me want to join.
Yeah, made
me want to be a Luminite.
A Luminary? A Luminati?
A Lulu.
Illuminati.
I want Lulu. Lulu. We're going with Lulu's. I am a Lulu. Well, I wanted to be a Lulu when I heard the story.
Right.
About the man masturbating into the ground.
Yeah, he spilled his lineage.
Spilled my lineage.
It's a very poetic way of saying that. But
I made that mistake.
My old job.
But I'm curious what you guys thought of this, because like in the previous episode we see that Lumen is trying to hire Rickon to do some writing for them. Do you think that he authored this new appendix, newly discovered appendix?
They want him to rewrite his book, not rewrite some fucking 1800s kinky porn. Like nobody was here for that. As a matter of fact, I am beginning to think that story, like and a lot of the other lore, has nothing to do with anything, right? Like it's all bullshit, but it also just has nothing to do with anything. That it's getting us bogged down with those details and keeping us from focusing on other things that could be leading us to know what we're dealing with, to kind of piece together the puzzle. But
yeah, it does seem like the Kier lore is just basically like them trying to develop a religion for these severed people. It's like, this Kier is their god, and they're just going to develop a form of the Bible so they can have some sort of doctrine or dogma for these people. And now they're even going just like on a pilgrimage. Well, I don't know. What did you, Mark? What did you think about just like all of this Lumen lore?
Oh, hi, Mark.
So I mentioned this, I think it was last week. Maybe it was the week before. But again, this gave very BioShock Infinite vibes. And in that one, so in the BioShock games, the first two are a guy wanted to get away from, he didn't trust any of the government, so he created a city at the bottom of the sea. In BioShock Infinite, same situation, but he created a city in the sky, and it's on these like giant blimps, literally entire cities floating. But that guy had a crazy basically religion written all about him, and a lot of it was about how he beat away the Antichrist and how he saved the world and he raised up Arcadia and all this. And it is just so much. It's insane how much Kieran feels like Comstock. It is just, it's crazy the similarities between the two. And spoiler for a game that came out 20 years ago now. People bought so much into the Comstock lore that they literally did go to war over it. So, I mean, like,
damn,
kind of feels like that's what Lumen's getting ready to do. Like, hey, love us so much you'll die for us.
Well, let's talk about, since you said what they're getting ready to do. What is the deal with the ice, my friend? You know, so like I think we've talked about they don't need no ice cubes in wherever the hell they are. It is just a frozen tundra, apparently.
Just vanilla ice.
Yeah, that's the only ice we need. Rip Van Winkle. Shout out to Rip Van Winkle.
I can't believe that's his name.
I know, hey, people, how do you tell me without tell me your parents don't care about you without telling me your parents don't care about you?
Ice's real name.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I said tell me
Rob Van Winkle.
Rob Van Winkle.
Tell me your parents don't care about you without telling me your parents don't care about you.
Every child named Cornelius is raising their hand right now.
I once met a man with the last name Time, first name Justin. Justin Time.
I went to
parents hate him.
I went to grade school with a kid whose last name was Cass, Kass, and I really hope he kept his promise and named his first son Jack.
Man, well, since we're talking about it, I had a friend named Clint Kuntz.
Yeah,
he was my roommate.
Oh, man, I remember.
Well, here's a story about last names that you should have. If you enlist in the military, you should definitely think about what branch you join and how your last name is going to sound. Because we had a dude, his last name was Sniff, and I was in the Navy, and his name was Seaman Sniff. He really needed to rank up, and like that's 3 ranks where you're a seaman. So, and he was an E1. He had a long time to be called Seaman Sniff.
There was a quick little storyline in Scrubs where a guy's last name was Dancer, which was really upset when he was a private. Yep.
We had a homie, oh man, so my homie Clint, Mr. Kuntz, he wanted to name his kid Busta. And then also
You didn't see that coming?
I'm just telling you the things he told me, but now that Terry is saying what he just said, like that enlightened me because he could have joined the military and become Captain Kuntz.
Captain Kuntz.
Well, you know what? It turns out you also just got to be careful.
Seaman Kuntz.
Seaman Kuntz.
Turns out you also got to be careful where you go. My last name is Madel. I found out it's German. I knew that. I found out it's German for little girl or feminine. My name is Jeffrey Little Girl. I'm never going to the fatherland.
Oh man, let me tell you something. Alex has been waiting to hit that goddamn button for about 15 minutes. Let's move on.
I was like, I feel there's a good moment.
There was never a better time. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I learned that was what my last name meant whilst dating a girl whose last name meant stallion.
Oh,
geez.
That was a
feminine stallion.
That was a quick flip in the power dynamic of that relationship.
Jeff, you never told me that you dated Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, exactly. It was amazing.
Upon finding the appendix,
y'all are both in Texas.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
So after masturbating into the ground,
upon finding the appendix and taking it to the reference Woe's Hollow,
a
waterfall,
video game or some shit.
A waterfall, the largest waterfall in the entire world.
The tallest.
You guys knew
which,
the
by the way,
tallest.
Dude, I've seen taller 20 minutes outside Austin. If you're gonna make that lie, At least make it somewhat believable.
I mean, they don't know.
This is their first time outside.
They don't know. It's like telling your child that the sun is really close. Like, no, yeah, it will burn us if we go outside for too long.
Yeah, it's just 80 feet away.
I knew a guy who would lie about everything, and we were at a bar, and you know those punch machines where it like tells you.
Yeah.
He told me he got the highest score. I watched him hit it. I know he didn't come close.
Yeah, it's like I'm here. I was here when you did it.
No,
he's like, yeah. Watching. I just got the high score. What? And it's like you hit a 120. That says 188.
No, y'all not paying attention.
You had me watch you hit it.
No, this is the tallest waterfall. See, y'all gotta mess up. This is the tallest waterfall. I found the tallest waterfall. This is it.
They are greeted by Milkchick and Miss Huang, who have set up a campsite. And this is like kind of a cute little, well, hold setup.
On. You're jumping too far for me because, like, how do these Audis get put in this situation where they're like, why would these Audis agree to being put in Russian outfits and then thrown to the wilderness?
Yeah, like they did mention at the beginning that they had their Audis had agreed to 2 calendar days in the outside.
Yeah, he said that, but we know that.
Yeah,
he also said that they're the tallest waterfall in the world. So we know that the shit that this nigga is saying is not true. He said that their Audis were heroes on the outside, and they changed and reformed Lumen. Like, we've been getting nothing but bullshit. So how is it that they got outside on, like, Irving's Audi is on the middle of a fucking lake?
Yeah,
like dude,
that is put him there.
Why would he go there?
Yeah.
Well, that's
something else is going on. Something else is going on.
He had to. His Audi walked to the middle of the lake.
Yeah,
like they didn't they didn't like teleport him in. Like that's
right.
That's how that works.
Yeah, I'm very curious at how everyone got here, but also like with a show like this, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get an explanation of how everyone got to that specific moment, but maybe we will get some sort of explanation of like where time wise we are with Mark S, where we saw him at the end of last episode to where we are now. Laura said, I felt it was all a VR experience.
What do you think about that, Jeff?
That's actually probably the most realistic explanation. Except I yes, if they hadn't slept over, if they hadn't camped out.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it could still be if they camped out, but I will agree with you that with Irving having his dream, that makes it a little less likely for me, just because it's like if it is a VR situation, then they inceptioned in an inception.
Yeah, that's like
they had
16 walls.
Yeah, man, that's what happened technically if they did the VR thing. But I think it might be that they have more than one. Like, so we know that there are two consciousnesses. Two consciousnesses. There's multiple. There's two consciousnesses.
There's
consciousnesses.
Consciousness.
There's multiple consciousnesses.
No, there's not multiple because there's just two.
That's still
that we
multiple.
know.
It's not
more than one.
No, you use multiple when there's more. There's a couple.
Whatever.
Anyway, there's a couple of consciousnesses.
Yeah.
And that's what we know. But it could be that they're more than 2, 3, maybe 4.
Well,
like they have these different, like in season 1, we see them going through the handbook to try to figure out how to switch everything off for the overtime protocol.
Right. Yeah.
And there was all these like Glasgow block and all that stuff was in there. And there's other things in there, and we don't know what the fuck it is because it's gibberish to us. But it's like maybe that there's more steps to what we're seeing here. I don't know.
No,
maybe I'm wrong.
No matter what it is.
Mm-hmm. No matter what it is.
No matter what it is, we do know that they have a way of altering the brain and how it perceives and records memories. So, I mean, maybe it's just they were like, all right, Audis, we're going to go to Disney World. And then they got in there and like, all right, turn them off. Yep. No, just lights out. It's cool. No, who gives a shit? I don't care. Turn it like a Roomba. Yeah, just put it in its docking station and we'll take it over there. Okay, yeah. Something like that.
Fifth Bantha said it's like a Star Trek holodeck.
I was going to wait to read that. What do you think, though?
Wait, which part? Sorry.
With the VR, multiples, all of the above.
I don't think that it is a VR situation. Like as soon as she said that, I started thinking about 3-body problem. But
so you're solving math problems. Not okay. Just relax.
But no, I don't think it's like a VR situation. I do feel like they are like in the real world. But for whatever reason, like also mostly golden handcuffs. If we've learned anything from like Dylan's situation, is like money and opportunity is like very much locking some of these people into these situations. I feel like any of these people would totally agree to just like submitting 2 calendar days for to do something like this, even if like they probably offered him like a little bit more money.
The reason I would believe you if Irving ain't sitting all the way out, they're all separated from each other. Irving's sitting way out in the middle of the ice. I would agree with you if that wasn't the case. That's a clear sign that they're not out there willingly.
But is it also a sign?
Because who would willingly walk into the middle of nowhere without anyone with them? Like, I could see if all of them ended up on the ice.
Is it also a sign that maybe this place isn't what it seems? I mean, like he wakes up on ice, he sleeps overnight in like knee-deep snow.
That's true.
If it was really that cold, wouldn't he have died?
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is where he dies.
Well, he said I almost died. I almost froze to death. So I don't know. I totally am with you on that. There's a lot of questions that aren't answered in this episode, but I think that it points more to the nefarious than it does that these Audis are complying with what these other people are asking to do.
Speaking of nefarious,
oh my god, what happens if you roofie an Audi and bring him in?
Ooh,
I'm surprised there hasn't been like a roofie or like hangover sketch of Severance on SNL. They're missing out. After offending Milchick by I haven't watched SNL in 10 years.
We're not in the right.
They might have done that.
which correct. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Just tune into every Christmas weekend update where they swap jokes, and that's all you need.
That's actually the best part of SNL. I do watch that every year. After offending Milchick by laughing at after laughing at the contents of the appendix, Helly is confronted by Irving about her suspicious account of her time during the overtime contingency. Helly retorts by claiming Irving is bitter about the loss of Bert, causing Irving to storm off. Now this was and then also later we might as well just get into this. Helly and Mark have sex, after which Mark briefly hallucinates Gemma's head of her body, which was a really creepy moment.
They start fucking. It was gross.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, I think this is one of those times that Jeff's going to be okay with sexual assault.
No, but is this that word about intercourse that starts with R that you can't say on YouTube?
Oh, vape.
Because isn't it when, say, like there's identical twins, if they trick someone into sleeping with them by pretending to be the other one, isn't that vape?
Vape is vape.
That we talked about this during the our coverage of Dark Matter, where it's very much that.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
It's very much the same kind of situation. Oh man, something's in the zeitgeist about like
much like Jeff. I forgot
twin
that. And yeah, that's vape. That's what it is. But I think
which, by the way, based on what we've learned of Audi Helly, maybe the least bad thing she's ever done.
Yeah, she seems like
I also think that she knew it was vape and did it anyway. Yeah. And also, I want to touch on this. I believe that. So you were talking about, Jeff was talking about, is Audi Mark. What happened to Audi Mark? Like, what happened? Like, what's going on? They didn't really touch on that, but I think that they. What the fuck is that noise?
I was like, what is that? I was like, what is that sound?
That's the CIA coming in.
I think somebody might be fucking on a rusty mattress.
Hold on, what is it? What is it?
Is that Helly Mark?
Hey! Hey, shut the fuck up, man! Trying to record right now. Shut the fuck up. All right.
Do you have any like desk or computer chairs?
We do not.
Yeah, no, it's getting faster.
Oh, this is about to be an ass whooping.
Yo, sorry.
Dude, just leave it alone. The faster they're going, the faster they'll be done.
So
this is just funny, man.
Yeah, it's funny to you. You don't have to live here.
Is this really happening?
It's apparently really happening.
You know what the really weird, sad part's going to be? When there's only one person in that apartment.
Yeah, it's like I'm just jumping up on my bed.
But yeah, so like I don't know. I mean, so yeah, I think like a bit of it was a power play from Audi Helly, but I think also I think Audi Helly's also falling for any Mark. Which the whole thing is just girl needs therapy. Like bad. That's all I got.
Yeah. She definitely needs some therapy for sure. She's action packed with issues. We do have this clip toward the end. Like,
what
let me
I
just
was
go
trying
to
to say is
this up.
No. What I was trying to say is that what I was trying to say is that old girl knew it was vape, and I think that Mark S is Mark Scout right now. I think that Scout is just pretending, but at the same time, he's still at this point, since he's reintegrated, he's both guys. He's the emotions of both.
That's
interesting. He has the mindset of both, and I believe that's why he says to Irving. He says to everybody when they're talking about the seal, and then Irving's like, let's eat it. And then everybody's like, yo, nigga, that's weird. And then he starts talking about
there's berries right there, man.
Those cantaloupes right there, dog. No, but then he says we all know that Irving had a bad experience, which they actually haven't said. He actually hasn't said that out loud to anyone except for Dylan. And the reason that he knows it, or that he would know it, is because he would have gotten that information somehow outside. His Audi would have to have that information. And there's a blending of minds taking place when it comes to the reintegration process.
I could buy that with the caveat that I think that there must also be a difference of inhibitions, because Audi Mark knows that his wife's back, or not back, that she's not dead. So because remember, if it is full reintegration, then he does also know that Miss Cassie, or whatever her any name is his wife. So then the fact that he slept with Helly, being any or Audi Helly, if this is Mark that also has his Audi memories, something's changed his personality as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way you can go back to being the same person with this reintegration because you're all these memories are just gonna.
Imagine the internal conflict.
And I think I didn't just blow Jeff's mind. I think I also blew Laura's mind with that mindset, with that concept. You know what I'm saying? But these are things I've been sitting around thinking about for a week, or for 4 days, whatever.
And then the next morning, Irving confronts Helena, with his suspicion that she is a mole. And I just want to play a clip from this crazy situation real quick. Sorry, it's gonna take. Wait, yeah, here it is.
What are you doing, man? Turn her back! What the fuck? She's an outie! She's been an outie the whole time! Ever since she came back! Irving! You stop now! I'm gonna kill her, Mr. Milkshake! She's an Egan! Turn her back, Mr. Milkshake! Turn her back! God damn it, stop doing! Do it, Seth! It's Milkshake. Remove the Glasgow block now.
Yes! The weirdest part of all that?
Seth!
The weirdest part of all that? Dylan, Mark, Milchek, Oliver is like, hey, you should stop that. No one tried to get down to help her.
Yeah, they're children in their minds. And that's what I think is awesome about how they play them. Well, no. Milchek doesn't know what to do in that situation because clearly there's been a conversation, a motive that they have to just make him not say anything, treat her exactly like everybody else. He can't break character no matter what, as I'm sure is what he's been told.
If Irv was drowning, well, maybe not Dylan. If Irv was drowning Mark, he would try and go and stop him from drowning Mark.
I don't think so. I think he would have. I think he would have did exactly what he did because at any point in time he can actually just shut their brains off. He can actually just call in and they will completely off. No, yeah, they can. That's
because
what
if he could have, then he would have done that to Irv as opposed to removing the Glasgow block from Helly.
No, so you're forgetting that they've already basically done what I'm saying to Miss what's her name? Casey. Mark's wife. She says that she's only awake. They only awaken her for 30 minutes at a time. She doesn't experience life outside of 30 minutes at a time because she's unconscious through the rest of that time.
Not necessarily.
She goes to the basement. I don't think she's awake while she's down in the basement doing nothing with no one else.
Well, could be. She could be in her Audi memory at that point.
In the basement?
Just to answer Laura's question, because that
what
is a little
the Glasgow block?
With she asked, what is the Glasgow block? I assume that's like the code name for just the block for the severance, like when you go from like being one consciousness to another. And
this is the thing. The Glasgow block,
mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, it's a part of the overtime protocol.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing that's interesting to me about the Glasgow block. It's a block, right? That means it keeps you from your severance once you go below the severance floor. Right. That's a better way to say it. Yes. It keeps you from severing as you go down to the severed floor, which could mean
that they're inside still.
That they're still inside of this motherfucking place. Where's my music?
Oh, Bill. No, keep going.
I gotta.
In medicine, the Glasgow coma scale is a universal scoring system that goes from 3 completely unresponsive to 15 fully responsive, taking into account visual, verbal, and motor responses. So that's where they got the term too.
Wow. Yeah, see, I think that this is what we're dealing with. I think that they're just on another level, which speaks to all kinds of craziness that can be going on. I think they have the ability to shut off all of your conscience and then just make you do what they want you to do, which is how we get our characters in these secluded areas without, their outies having to know about the proceedings.
Yeah,
Something
and they're still
really awesome. This is just episode 4 of a 10-episode season.
Yes, that's what we kind of talked about last week. Is like we've gotten more in this 3 episodes than we did all 10 episodes last season, and then now episode 4, we've already blown past like a lot of the things that we wanted to know. Like, oh shit! Like, wait a minute, what don't I know now? Like, oh, I need to know this. I need to know that. Like, and we didn't even get Miss Cobell this episode. I think we've got a lot more stuff that we could even break down throughout this entire thing. If we watched it 4 or 5 more times, I think we'd find something every single time. Last thing I want to touch on before we move on to the next thing is definitely want to talk about the seal. Why is there a seal? What happened? Is that a seal? Or do you think that it's a cocoon for one of the little shadow people that was over there?
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, did you guys know that when it snowed, their eyes became wide?
No, yeah, that's all I could think about on Super Bowl Sunday was this episode of Severance.
When I worked in restaurants still, my friends and I would intentionally try and get songs stuck in each other's heads. My go-to was always Kissed by a Rose because I could do it. I could get stuck in their heads by just going
Loris.
Hold on, let's start with the Fifth Banthas comment.
Fifth Bantha said Helena is on first name basis with him, which kind of implies that they are at least colleagues, maybe friends. Yeah,
him being Seth.
Milchick. Yeah, no, I don't believe that. Yes, it is a pretty white name, but I also don't believe that they are on any level of equal. I think I think that's why you see the fear in his face, not because he thinks that she'll die or that he can't control it, but because he doesn't know how far this bitch is trying to go. Like, bitch, how far are you trying to take this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, that was definitely her breaking the fourth wall, the severance wall, I guess.
Yeah. They should have had a safe word, honestly.
It was Seth.
Popcorn needles! Popcorn needles!
Pineapple juice!
Yeah. Nipples. You know, like just just start saying, I had sex with Mark. Oh, yeah, okay, that was the one.
Which, by the way, they all know, right?
Yeah, man. They was just having really quiet sex, or the tents are soundproof. I mean, there's no way nobody know it was cheeks getting slapped.
Well, Dylan was the only person there, so he definitely knows. Milchick was probably off in a cabin. Like,
no, you can't say no probably. He was either in this place or we. He
was definitely in a cabin about like half a mile away.
Milchick was sitting there. Milchick was like sitting there with his phone, being like, "Oh, that's okay."
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Oh, he's limber.
Yeah, he was there. He was definitely. I think he was putting his lineage into the ground.
Laura said in the chat, because I was thinking maybe Helly has been unsevered and they can turn it on and off when they want. I feel like they can do that with all of the severed people. Mm-hmm. Like they have that kind of remote control. Beep. And sort of the whole, I forget what the name of the
overtime protocol.
The overtime protocol.
OTP.
I feel like OTP. With that kind of exemplify that they can control this severance pretty much anywhere they are. So I and with this situation specifically,
it's like some frequency or some shit, you know.
Oh yeah, it's all frequencies, because that's how she managed to reintegrate him with the alpha and beta waves. See, I know waves.
Speaking of, did y'all see what Miss Huang was playing at the campsite?
Theremin.
She was playing a goddamn theremin.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
is if she's not creepy enough.
Yeah.
She's gonna play the most creepy instrument of all time.
You tell that to Star Trek fans, good sir.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, it was weird. She's weird. That made it more weird. But let me just say, let's get to the nitty and the gritty. The nitty and the gritty. So we already know that Milchick is all of it's out the bag. Haley. But right before that, since we were talking about the camp scene, man, a lot was going on in that camp scene. Helena decides she's gonna make a joke about Kier busting a nut into
right.
Now we know that we're talking about her great grandfather or whatever, and this is, I don't know if that was like her attempt to be funny and sound like Hallie,
right?
Or was it her attempt to just get some shit off of her chest in real life, yo, fuck that story, nigga? Because Milchick looked at her kind of crazy, like, I had hoped that I knew your team well enough,
right,
that you would have accepted these words of Kier. And it was like then he gets mad. He says, "Miss Wong, get the marshmallow." Let me tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all are wrestling fans out there. I don't know how many wrestling fans are out there, but there's these guys called the Dudley Boys. And I swear to motherfucking God, when he said that shit, that's how it sounded to me, because they always get the tables, okay? It's Bubba and Devon, okay? And Bubba always says, "Devon, get the tables!" And that's exactly what Milchick sounded like. He was like, "Bitch, let me show y'all something right now. I'm about to goddamn elbow drop y'all right now from the top rope. Somebody, Miss Wong, get the marshmallows."
And they were rectangles.
Okay, so we have a marshmallow expert on staff here. So I just want to ask, how, or is it possible for you to make mushrooms that size and in that shape?
Mushrooms or marshmallows?
I mean, marshmallows, excuse me. I've been doing research for common side effects every Thursday at 8:15.
I can make marshmallows. They're pretty simple, actually.
But that size?
Can you make them in rectangles?
Yeah, I actually, it's easier to make them in rectangles.
Oh, man. You know what?
So here's the thing. When you make marshmallows, it's like, you remember gack?
Yeah.
It's like that consistency until you let it cool down overnight. So when I make it, I could pour it into any container and have it be that shape.
Real life. Maybe, man, you should make I
should have made some for today.
I'm not in Austin, but I'm like, you should definitely make some Kier marshmallows.
They would murder Alex. They're like 4 different types of sugar.
Yeah, no, you would die.
But so at the end of this episode, because we got a lot of show to talk about in our next topic, so we got to wrap this one up. But Ellie then revealed.
We have a lot of comments, but
Laura's comment is just, that's a good fucking comment.
Okay, last unhinged theory before I go to sleep. Miss Huang is Mark's daughter. I have heard this theory, and I'm not opposed to it, because there's a lot of weird shit. There's a lot of weird shit going on with like these weird doppelganger, maybe clones. Jenna's still being alive. And it seems like she might be a clone, since Mark said that he identified her body. I don't know what's going on with all of this.
Dude, that is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. I don't even know what else to say except that is crazy. I hadn't considered
Laura, you
that.
better keep coming Mondays this time.
You got to come back
here.
Monday.
Gotta
and
come back.
Yeah,
you make us smarter.
You made,
which isn't easy.
I don't know if you made me.
That's a long haul.
I don't know if you made me smarter. You might have made me feel dumber, at least, because I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about that at all. But yeah, man, definitely come back. So much. I'm so glad that you came through. So much love. We're gonna be talking about Invincible coming up next. But you said you wanted to talk about something else, one little thing.
Yeah, just like the ending of this episode, Helly is then revealed to have been Helena Egan the entire time.
It was Helena all the time.
Egan.
But then Milchick is forced to revert her to Helly R to save her life. Milchick fires Irving and reverts him to his Audi. So any Irving is pretty much dead. But as we know, Irving Audi is
Audi Irving.
He's Audi out. He's been like investigating Lumen. So like I don't think this is going to be the last we see of John Turturro this season. But how do you guys feel about this? The death of any Irving?
I seen the trailer for the next episode. Well, piece of it. You're gonna see Irving. Spoiler alert. We're gonna see it. We're gonna continue to see him because as we forgot. But it's not really a spoiler because the last episode or 2 episodes ago we had Audi Burt following Audi Irving. So it's cool.
Yeah,
we
Burt
know
and Irving?
that.
Got it.
Burt and Irving. and they're gay. And they're oh wow.
That can't be a coincidence.
It cannot be a coincidence.
Oh, you want coincidences?
Laura, thank you. She said, I'll come back. See you around. Bye.
See you next time.
We'll see you next week.
What's the coincidence there?
Helly's Audi name, Helena.
Yeah.
Mark's Audi wife died in a car accident.
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance. When both our cars collide.
Oh shit.
Oh.
I ain't even think about that.
I
haven't fucking emo.
I haven't watched, man. We have not listened to My Chemical Romance until like since before we were like about to open up for My Chemical Romance. Like
3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge holds up.
Wait. Sorry, I haven't listened to 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. What was the name of their first album? Their very first album? I'm Not Okay.
No. I'm Not Okay came off 3 Cheers. The first one, something with vampires.
right.
I don't remember the name of the album, but
yeah. Oh man,
So,
I can't
wait.
remember. But something vampires, something with vampires.
You know
I
what?
think.
Sorry, I was thinking the Black Parade when you said 3 Cheers. So 3 Cheers is the one with I'm Not
it's
Okay.
one with I'm Not Okay and Helena.
That album fucks.
We had it. I don't gonna say it fucks. We had it though.
Dude, the beats are fucking awesome.
Because we need to have another channel where we do a Does It Hold Up channel just for music. The whole thing is Does It Hold Up music.
Bro, I'm just going to
Just
throw out
weird
there.
shit.
I have an emo alter personality where I get dressed up and it's Jeff Cab for Cutie, and I will be here for that.
Hey, let's do it. I'm totally down for that.
Remember that She's Just 16 Years Old song?
I brought you my bullets. You brought me your love. That was their first album.
Oh, okay, so
Then-
we have to move it along.
Yes.
We're gonna get on a tangent. Check us out on our
Totally.
Emo Wednesdays. We have a podcast where we talk about
we're gonna start
emo.
one. We're gonna start one.
Jimmy
I'm
Wednesdays.
gonna start another channel.
Jimmy
We can
Wednesdays,
go
I
ahead.
like
We
that.
can go ahead, Alex, because I'm gonna start a music channel right now. Hold on.
But yeah, let's talk
I'm going to
about
hop over to that channel.
let's talk about our next topic of the night. Yes, that's right. We're talking about season 3 of the Amazon Prime original series. Yeah, that's right. That is right.
Technically, this book I'm holding is where season 3 kind of starts at.
Boom, sure fucking is.
Oh shit!
I started reading it.
Hold it
and then
back
I
up.
got a little bit number 5 of the Ultimate editions. I do not suggest buying this edition because they are very heavy and they're hard to find.
Yes, Alex just put his entire graphic novel away, which is, I can attest, very heavy.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, as bad as my shoulder is right now,
yeah,
I don't think I can lift it with my right arm right now.
These are they're the hardcover one, the hardcover edition.
Oh yeah, I like.
I think Jeff has gone into his treasure chest somewhere.
He's gone into his bag. Yeah,
I'm at the part where this is all starting. Like I'm reading along with it, but one of the big differences is that they do a lot of events out of order from each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what you'll see happen in the book will be like way ahead, and then something in the show will be like, oh no, they just kind of skipped ahead. And are they gonna now they're gonna bring it up? Like they haven't like cut out too much, but they have just kind of jumbled it all around.
Yeah, I think they have to, because one, the way the book is paced, this would be a bad TV show.
It's weird.
It would be a very slow TV show. It wouldn't move as that's just not how TV is, the way this comic book is written. Mm-hmm. So they have to mash a bunch of stuff together to move the actual story along, like the real.
They made it so woke. The show is so woke.
I mean, so in the smaller versions, this is volume 10. So like, yeah, it moves slowly. And in the comics, I mean, Nolan doesn't kill the Guardians of the Globe until issue 5, as opposed to episode 1. So yeah, I think a lot of the pacing in the show is done better.
Yeah, and it's funny because like listening to Ryan Otley, no, not Ryan Otley. Whoever the other guy is, the guy who like actually wrote the comic book.
Kirkman, Otley, Crabtree. Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker.
Robert Kirkman. Yeah, Ryan Otley is one of the artists for the comic book. Huh?
He is the penciler and inker.
Comic-Con.
We saw Robert Kirkman.
That's what I was saying.
It was Ryan Otley. But it was Ryan Otley. But we fucking missed an opportunity to actually meet him. But yeah, like
friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Shout out to Kevin Smith. That's what we saw instead. We saw Kevin Smith instead. So shout out to Kevin Smith.
Happy birthday to happy birthday to friend of the show, Karen Fukuhara.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's right. Karen Fukuhara. Kipo herself. But yeah, what was I about to say? Yeah, Robert Kirkman. He was talking about like how the like making the comic book and making the show has just like sort of shaped how he like a better way than what he had even envisioned in his head as a way of having this narrative play out, because he wanted that whole Omni-Man being a villain thing to be just like played out over a much longer period of time. Like he wanted to sort of lull people into thinking it was a very regular schmegular comic book for like months, and then hit them with the Omni-Man twist. But the sales weren't doing that well over a few weeks, and his publisher was like, "Dude, you need to go ahead and hit him with the twist because people are going to lose interest." So that's
I avoided it for that reason, because I never knew about the twist, and it was always in the back of Walking Dead books. He was like, check out my other book. And I was like, I don't really want to hear about
no, thank you.
I'm a superhero just like his daddy. That sounds dumb.
Yeah, right.
And then when I saw the Omni-Man fight scene off the first episode, I was just like, wait, that's what happened in this book the whole time?
Right.
Oh, man, I should have been reading this shit.
Which I don't know about you, Terry, but then that's funny because then the first 3 issues, I'm like, why? What the fuck is happening? This isn't get good.
Yeah, it's taking forever. Hurry up. Also, I learned that he's not good at writing female dialogue. He does not pass that Bechdel test.
No.
Yeah, I think the show definitely helps with just like him having a second bite of the apple, and also having a writer's room.
I was going to say, I think.
When did he write it though? When did he write these?
This was like in 2004.
So he probably wrote. So he probably wrote this in 2000 or 99 or something. Like he probably actually came up with all this.
Came out in 09.
09.
Yeah, so I'm saying he probably was early 2000s or late 90s coming up with all of this. That was the toxic time.
Yeah,
that was. But who cares about women? That was that time.
Who gives a shit?
I included them. They're there. There's multiples of them.
I don't even give them. I didn't even give them big titties, man. Come on, man. I did them right.
But it is also so interesting seeing like when this.
That being said, let me introduce you to my newest hero, Big Tit Bantha.
But yeah, it is interesting seeing like a lot of the themes that are brought up in this comic book are now like, you know, that you have see shows like The Boys that are really popular because it sort of just twists the comic book genre in a more demented way, and I think that's why this this show has become so popular, because it is so similar to something like The Boys. But it's kind of funny that this movie came out this comic book came out so long ago, before we got Avengers with their Avengers Endgame with their multiverse stuff.
No, it's not surprising. The character is Asian, so not surprising. He's a minority.
He was actually only Asian.
Excuse you.
He's not half Asian.
Also half Viltrumite.
He's not half Asian in the comic book.
He's actually not Asian in the comic books.
He is. He doesn't look it, but his mom is Asian.
Oh,
he just doesn't look very Asian in the comic book.
Yeah, no,
they definitely start him out looking more Asian too. As time progresses, he becomes more white.
So yeah, I just think that has to do with why who's even reading it. That's kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how movie studios, TV studios think. But
no, that's a good point. I think that Alex is racist. Yeah.
Shout out to what's his name who plays Mark. He was at the Kings game. I was at the Kings game on Friday. Shout out to Lil Frothy and my family.
Also got a movie coming out with Kirsten Stewart.
But Alex, do you have a rundown of these 3 episodes? Because there were 3.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
We got hit with a triple threat.
Yeah. That's the last one, though. They're not gonna do that again.
It's 3 months.
I'm okay with them starting a season like that, as long as they don't keep it going.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson from last year. 3 months after his battle with Angstrom, Mark continues training under Cecil's supervision to gain enough strength to compete with the Viltrumites while avoiding Eve. Now, yeah, we learned from the last season that Mark had a weird encounter with Eve from the future, and now he's kind of grappling with his relationship, his feelings for her. But like, he doesn't even really have time for that, because he has to train for the impending doom that is the Viltrumite invasion.
Did you say it was doom?
Yeah, impending doom.
Impending doom. That sounds like a.
If only they made a song about that.
I know, but. Oh, the volume is terrible on here.
Anywho.
Doom song now.
But yeah, this is interesting seeing like Mark just like picking up where Mark left off, training for the Viltrumite Empire, and also skirting his relationship with Eve. What do you guys think of just like this?
And also being afraid of girls.
I'm gonna let Terry go first, since he's been in the wind, hanging out over there. So how'd you feel?
I don't really know what the question was.
What was the question, Alex?
Are talking about the episode. Again, how do I feel about what Eve?
Yeah, like, what do you think of just like basically our intro into this season? Because like we see, Mark, he's training, but he also is having these weird relationship conflicts with Eve. Like, how do you feel about like our intro to Mark in this season?
Very slow and kind of boring with the Eve part, but I did like the whole training montage and just like watching him get stronger and like what they used to like get him stronger and everything. I also found that one scene kind of hilarious when he was like battling that really giant monster, and that whole time I kind of felt like I don't think this is a monster. I don't think this.
Oh yeah.
It looked like, I was like, I'm pretty sure they're sparring, and they were. But it was even funnier when it turned out it was like, hey, ease up on him. He's only 8 years old, and then they turned to the parents like, we are really working on a cure for his conditions. Like, we're working on that. I was like, wait, he's an 8-year-old kid. It's not cool.
I did like that scene because it is like a character from the comics. Like he is one of those characters that it was cool to see. Actually, I'm gonna play like a quick clip from the montage from the intro.
Liz, thank you. Oh, our nips just touched. Mine are so hard.
Mine are different sizes.
So you can see like how they're just like fighting each other. Like there's like that conflict. Where you're kind of like wondering if Mark's going to even come out on top, and then obviously he's invincible.
You're just playing that because you want to be on top. Hey girl, hey.
Then later on, Mark and Rex tried to stop two thieves, Dropkick and Fight Master from stealing the Declaration of Independence, but are attacked by Duplicate's brother. Multi-Paul, great name. Who tries
I
to
love how ridiculous they get with the name puns in this.
It's so ridiculous. Who tries to avenge his sister's death, but Duplicate and Immortal come out of retirement, and Shrinking Ray return. And death.
Like, Immortal was tired. Duplicate came out of death.
Yeah, what did you guys think of just like this reveal? Like, because we knew that Duplicate was alive from scenes from the last season, but what did you think about her revealing herself to the world?
It sounds dirty when you say it that way.
Because like she's a streaker
revealing herself to the world.
I'd kind of be like, Cecil, you didn't know this shit? Did you know Cecil the whole time? I would have been like looking at Cecil and be like, well, why didn't you tell me? Like, because when she would have said it, I would have kind of felt a little dumb a little bit, because I would have been shit talking her for a long time, being like, why didn't that dumb bitch just have a fucking copy? She's so stupid. That was why didn't she died for no reason. She's retarded. And then she comes back and I'm just like, oh, hey Kate, glad to see you alive. I knew you had one. I told them. They would say you was dead. I was like, no, she's not dumb. She had one. She has one somewhere hidden.
Yeah, like like, I heard a lot of theories about that. Like when that episode happens, like she's got to have another like backup somewhere. Which it turns out she did.
Man, you know what? I've been sitting here trying to think of a name for the music channel, the music YouTube channel. I'm like, is it Nerds at Music Night? Is it Banthas at Drunk Nerds?
I'll figure it out. Don't worry about that. On it.
Put it on the chat, guys. Put it in the chat.
It was cool seeing a Duplicate come back and Immortal in this
and they married. Situation. I forged the ring myself out of. She was like, yeah, nigga, shut up. Nobody care about none of that shit.
It was cool seeing Shrinking Ray come back too, because she was fucked up in the last season.
It is
she was dead.
Strange. It's one of those choices that they made. They decided to make Shrinking Ray into a woman instead of a man.
Yeah, they gender swapped her, but which is like, why not? This is kind of in the comic books, kind of a nothing character. They did a lot more with her in this TV show.
Also, why
she's got more lines in this episode than his entire comic run.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like why not?
I mean, same with Amber. Like they made her black and gave her a bunch of lines.
Yeah, and they made her a lot more.
Well, they're gonna give her something else pretty soon.
People are gonna say that's woke, but that's not woke to me. Like that's just what people been doing for years. Like we had Daredevil, motherfucking Michael Clark Duncan played Kingpin. Like that's not
and
DI. That's just
the best part of that movie.
Yeah, exactly. He was actually the best part. I was pissed that he was Kingpin, you know what I mean? Like I like it being uniform with the comic when the source material, whatever, but wasn't nothing wrong with it. He was the best part of that movie, and Amber was the worst part of this show. So it can work out either way.
Which is crazy because I love Zazie Beetz. Like I wish
I cringed a little bit when they showed her. I was just like, really?
I know, but that ain't got nothing to do with the character. So what
she's the person who plays the character.
Did she write? She writes for the show.
No,
because that's who wrote her line. Because that's who.
I have no idea.
That's where her lines are coming from, and you can only work with so much. If they just got you saying stupid shit, it ain't gonna be good. You may deliver it very well, but it's still gonna be garbage.
Then William and Rick encourage Mark to confess his feelings and ask Eve out, but warn him against telling her about her future self. However,
Mark immediately messes with him.
Yeah, like come on, dude. Like
that's what he does all the time.
He's dumb. Also, the William and Rick thing. William and Rick are not gay so far in the book. I don't think. Does that? I was like, does that happen in the book in a little bit? Because right now they are very not gay.
I am not going to spoil anything for you.
No spoilers. No spoilers. If you want spoilers, though, you should go check out the homie. Heavy spoilers. Go over there and check him out. Tell him Drunk Bantha sent you.
Or are they being woke again?
And he's a real friend of the
show. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the comic, like even when, like especially when it came out, was like considered woke a little bit. Like
I just think it's funny that they hit like all
the main character was Asian,
swapping, race swapping, and then like queer baiting or queer swapping, whatever you want to call it. Just all three. I was like, I know you guys are trying to be woke, but y'all really giving them ammo though. Like,
yeah, but a lot of the hardcore.
And I understand it. Zazie Beetz audition. She had the best audition. Make her character black because she's black. Why is she white? That makes sense. Give this character more lines. It'd be interesting if she was a woman to hook her up with Rex. She'd have it all makes sense separately. But when you put it together, it just doesn't look good.
I think just optics. Like the benefit of just
it's optics. It's not their fault.
Yeah, no, I can see like the optics. Yeah, and you can pick it apart really easily if you're talking about real. But yeah, I feel like it's the benefit of having a second bite of the apple. Like not just with like the race changes, like the gender changes, the sexuality changes of different characters, but like the story is moving more smoothly. There's certain storylines that are been like combined to make it a little bit more TV. Yeah, make more sense for
not
TV.
Just sense for TV, but it's like there's a narrative of the entire book series that needs to be pushed. And there's certain stories that don't necessarily do that.
Mm-hmm. And it's like a rewrite form. It's somebody else rewriting it.
But you need to use.
But isn't he writing it?
But you want to use those. You want to use those characters that you have, like fan service wise. People want to see certain characters, and you can't just dismiss certain storylines, which. Some of them could just be dismissed. They don't have to do every one of these storylines to tell this.
I wanted to see Savage Dragon.
Story. So people who are wanting to see people like Savage Dragon, which that's not out of the question, I don't think. Like there's just like there's so much more to be gone. They didn't even have to do Beast dude.
Beast mode.
Beast, what is his name? Warrior Beast nigga. Like they didn't have to even put him in there the last season, but. But to tell this story and move this story along quickly, we got to get this all out here, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this show would suck if they stayed to the source material. Like
the source material felt very first draft.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is
that's what I'm saying. It's like
that's because he was broke. He was broke as a motherfucker when he wrote that shit.
Yeah, to be fair, it is like there's like a monthly.
Didn't telegraph that one at all.
I telegraph all of my jokes, sir. Exhibit A.
Yes, thank you.
But
that was my fault. I did that to myself.
You asked.
She's gonna watch this one day and she's gonna have a lot of questions.
Now she's gonna be like, finally, somebody actually saw the episode.
There. For somebody to watch our show who's famous is gonna be the worst possible thing about them, and that's what it's gonna be. You know that, right?
No,
Well, it's
she's
funny, I
gonna
was
be
watching-
happy that anybody knows that exists somewhere because that's how actors are. Just tell you the truth.
So I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers the other day, and he just put out like a video where he's talking about the penguin, and he added a clip from that episode of 30 Rock. He was like, "This is the first thing I know her from." It's like, you and me, man, we're fucking right here.
Move along.
But anyway, but what I was saying is like, to be fair,
To be fair,
honestly,
I don't like that show. I refuse.
Oh, I love that show.
You forgot what you were saying?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
To be fair, it's a better rewrite that he's doing this, and it's all making sense, and it's not woke. You just don't understand how TV works.
Yes, exactly. That's a perfect summation of
that was the more you know moment right there for sure.
It really was.
You want me to play a clip?
Like every time I hear something about casting, it's like, why did they cast this person? Because they did a damn good job at the audition.
We are still on the first
episode. Or they gave a whole lot of money.
We are still on the first episode. Doc Seismic breaks out of the confinement and kidnaps all superheroes using a giant underground creatures. When Mark and Eve fail to save the heroes, Cecil sends in Darkwing 2 and Reanimate to help with Darkwing recapturing Doc Seismic. Mark is angry at Cecil for for lying to him and working with Darkwing 2 and Sinclair, leading Cecil to trap him in the White Room, which was constructed to keep him safe from Mark. Let's play this clip of let's play
Darkwing? Darkwing 2, technically. But yes. Why the hell is he here? And why the fuck are those things here? He's a murderer. And those things, the guy who made those things, killed people. They almost killed my best friend. I'm better now, thanks to Cecil. Better? You should be in prison.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
We don't know everything yet.
I don't need to know everything to know this is wrong.
I don't like the way he's coming at my man Darkwing like that, because Mark needs to check his tone talking to that man like that, talking he need to be going to prison and not being reformed and shit. That's a black man he talking to, first off. So I'm just not appreciating the tone, whether I agree with if he should be killing people or not. Like, don't talk to that man like that, bro. If I was immortal or what Black Samson or Bulletproof, I would have put my hands on Mark.
It's also Mark's very naive. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't disagree with him. Darkwing 2 is definitely a murderer. And whatever. First off, wait till you get out of this situation.
Right? You see him helping. I'm gonna ask questions first, not just start. Yeah. What are you doing? Chill out.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You don't know. You don't know if he has been rehabilitated. You don't know what his punishment was. You actually don't know anything since the one time you met him. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a murderer. Yes.
He also went crazy. He's
in a place of midnight all the time, and he has a power of darkness.
Superhero world.
His father was just murdered disgustingly. By what was supposed to be
your daddy
hero. Yeah, and your daddy. Yo daddy, nigga.
I'm not even sure. His daddy, that might be his surrogate daddy, homie, uncle. Not sure, surrogate but whatever. Daddy. Your real daddy did that shit to him, and you talking about who's a murderer. Chill out. I'm not feeling Mark on this, but I did love the parallels they made later with Cecil, pretty much going through.
That's episode 2.
That's the same thing.
But so in episode 1 though, continuing with just before we move off of it, we saw Mark in the clip with a penetration through his motherfucking chest.
Yeah.
And Invincible supposed to be invincible, you know what I mean?
That's what
they say. But at least he's supposed to be he's at least supposed to be invulnerable.
Yeah.
To things that are on Earth. at least, you know what I mean? But we do find out through what's his name? Through Omni-Man's books that he was writing that there are things in the universe that can kill Viltrumites. And I think that earthworm gem that went through his chest, I think that might be leading us down the line here going up forward, where it's like, yo, we might have to use this to try to defeat not Mark or not Omni-Man, but
Viltrumites.
the Viltrumites that are coming. Yeah,
I will say, with how much Mark got his ass kicked the first season, I did look it up. Invincible means too powerful to be defeated or overcome. It doesn't mean invulnerable. I mean, season 1 especially, but also a decent amount of season 2. It's like Mark's missing teeth. Like, he's not invincible.
Yeah, like the Invincible ends up being very much a misnomer throughout. At least when I was reading the comic book, it's like, well, this guy gets his ass handed to him all of the time.
He's very invincible.
He's very invincible. Speaking of which, like I want to talk about Alan and Nolan for a second before we talk about the events of the last events of this episode bleeding over to episode 2, because Alan and Nolan bond in prison while the Viltrumites begin testing Alan to determine the source of his newfound strength. We see them like becoming friends. It seems like there's something developing there. Producer T, what do you think of like this relationship that's developed between Alan and Nolan?
It's kind of fun. I mean, Nolan's just taking a long time to like come around, and like he was already like, I miss my wife, and now we're like, so you don't miss your wife no more? We're trying to escape. Like, come on, bro, hurry up.
Chance the Rapper.
Hurry up and escape now. Like, what are y'all doing? Stop it. It's just a little slow for me.
Yeah, so they're definitely putting that, releasing that storyline in drips. Not a lot going on. Like even in last season, it seemed like they were just very slowly
5 minutes worth of talking.
Yeah, until they like gave Alan his own episode, and then back to like just a 5 minutes exposition. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen between the two of them later on. But then we get the end of the episode, or before that, we get the end of the episode where we get, Mark is all upset about Cecil working with Sinclair and Darkwing 2, and then Cecil traps him in the White Room, which was constructed to keep him safe from Mark, and that bleeds over into episode 2. I just want to play this clip from episode 2 real quick.
Is that all you got?
Why did you have to ask that, kid?
Pulled right from the comics, though.
Yeah,
pulled right from the pages of the comics, man. Color scheme and everything. What did you feel about that, Terry?
A little different because it was like, the system failed and revealed them all. He didn't like do it on purpose like in the show, which I think it's better that he did it on purpose, unlike in the show where it's like containment failing and 5%. Containment's about to fail, and then it like turns off, and then you see them all. But to show him, for him to be like, is that all you got? And he's like, I wish you didn't say that, because that's not all I got. Way better. It worked way better.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jeff? How'd you feel about this scene right here going into episode 2?
It was not only was it a badass scene, I thought it was a good segue into episode 2. And it was just one of those ones where it was like, all right, yeah, Mark is strong, and Mark has gotten so much stronger, and Mark has a lot. So obviously it's meant to show like Cecil is still smart enough to like hedge his bet, but to me it was more just like, oh, Mark's got a long way to go.
He does. I feel the exact same way. I'm like, yo, Mark, bro. First of all, Mark is still a kid. Like Mark has got to be 18, maybe 19 years old at this point. I think we've had about 6 to 7 months, maybe 10 months pass in the time since season 1. Which is crazy because this show has been out for 5 years now. But yeah, I think we haven't even passed a year yet. So Mark's he's getting 19. Out of high school. He's 19. So he's just getting out of high school. He don't know shit about shit. He thinks he knows shit about everything. And that's just called being young, right? Like that's just called, but now it's kind of like being a professional basketball or professional athlete. You're 19 years old, 20 years old, and somebody gives you $100 million, right? Like $200 million. And all of a sudden you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Now, so you have to be a disciplined person to make that work for you, at that young of an age. But most people blow all that money, right? And do stupid shit and get arrested and do stupid shit because they think they're invincible, right? And like just that he would pick that as a name shows you his childish nature and his inability to just grow up. And that is a common thread that this comic book stays along with this character. And also another thing about the pacing and the rewriting, if this show went with the book, this show would have to last 10 seasons.
Oh, it'd be impossible.
And this comic book lasted so long.
and there's no way anybody who's working on this show is thinking logically, oh, this could be on another 9 years. And that's just because, or actually, if they go at this pace, it'd have to be on for another 20 years because to have 10 more seasons and every other year you come out with a fucking season, like, yeah, we're going to be 20 years in this motherfucker, and that's not going to happen. So you got to get this out as much as possible, and I like it.
Yeah, just like talking about the narrative structure of this episode, after we got that Adam Eve episode, like that was in between season 1 and 2, I thought that was really cool, and I thought it was like, oh, I guess this is what.
Forgot about that one.
Well, one reason it stuck out in my mind.
Episode,
one of the reasons it stuck out in my mind because it was like one of the bonus comic books. Like while reading Invincible, like you get like an Adam Eve backstory comic, you get a Monster Girl backstory comic, you get a Cecil backstory comic, Rex, like you get all these backstory comic books, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe they're just gonna have like these one-shot episodes like in between seasons, but they kind of like integrated Cecil's backstory comic within this episode to have it like parallel with Mark's just like like Mark's sensibilities, like they like we were kind of the same person once upon a time,
both young,
both young.
Because man, Cecil, when they showed that, when they went from that face where it was like young Cecil, then it went to old Cecil, I was like, oh my god. I was like, I wanted to grab something. That's like, oh shit.
And don't forget, that's all fake skin. Except for that little fucked up part. All of that is fake skin on it.
They gave him some fake hair and some fucking
all of that is fake.
Can we get this replacement?
I'm just saying.
The robot dude, what's his name?
Rudy?
The dude with the glasses.
No.
Wait, which Rudy?
No. The guy with the glasses is his assistant. Donald. See, he pristine. They get his ass some new skin. I know he's a robot, but shit, they get his ass some new skin,
right? Because they showed him on Cecil's first day coming out, and like, I'm your number 2. I was like, damn, Donald.
I think Donald was alive, bro. I think Donald was alive.
I agree with you there. Yeah, I think he was a human back then.
Yeah, and I think they had a file. I think they said he was killed like over 100 times. I think this is on like 160 something.
A lot of times.
Well, stop stepping on rakes, man.
I'm not mad at that. If I'm Donald, I'm like, damn.
Honestly,
I can't die.
I think we can all
I kind of be mad at it because I can't die, but it's also you niggas won't let me quit or retire. Like,
I think it's
how
his
long do I
choice,
gotta
though.
keep working? It's like,
You don't have
every
to worry
time you
about-
die, bro, that puts you in the hole.
He doesn't have to
You
worry
might
about
wanna
cost of
stop
living.
dying because you owe us crazy.
He doesn't have to worry
overtime.
about cost of living, so it's fine. Jeff, what are you about to say?
I just gonna say, I was saying, I think it's just proof that Cecil needs sunscreen.
It's absolutely. He definitely gets paler as he starts living underground, basically.
When Mark begins destroying the reanimant around him, Cecil activates a device.
Donald has
installed in Mark's-
died 39 times.
39 times.
Mm.
Okay. that's not.
Is that
as
kind of
much as
like
I
once
thought.
a year then?
No, that's you doubled up. He doubled up some years.
He just dies.
Mark
a
is
whole lot.
only 18. If he's died 39 times in the last 19 years, then that motherfucker has died way more times than once a year.
Yeah. Cecil activates a device installed in Mark's head, matching the Atlantean kaiju's roars, causing him intense pain and preventing him from flying. Mark flees to the Guardians for help, but Cecil arrives and attacks Mark with the reanimant, prompting the Guardians to aid him. Robot jams the signal that is harming Mark, while Cecil realizes his mistake, deactivates the reanimant, but kind of not really. Mark grabs Cecil by his throat and angrily warns him to never come near his family again, or he will kill him, ending their working relationship. There's a lot happening in this confrontation.
Do you know what my first thought was when the reanimants start showing up in Guardian Mountain?
Yeah. What?
Didn't Cecil say that teleporter costs like well over $1 billion in season 1 for one person?
Just like every time. Yeah.
I was just like, goddamn. Okay. Doge, I've got some whistleblowing for you.
Yeah,
and Rex Explode, meanwhile, can't throw the bird up.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
And the
Rex
coffee
was
maker
really
was
mad
broke.
about that.
And the coffee maker was broke. No hot
Whoever
water.
decided to cast Jason Matsukas for Rex Explode's voice, give them all the monies.
All the money is in the world. Jason Mantzoukas
great.
is perfect as Rex Explode. Goddamn. But yeah, like this was like an interesting development, like where like, a lot of things just like really escalated, where Invincible is versus Cecil, and then the Guardians stand up to help Invincible, and it becomes a situation where the Guardians kind of gets broken up, where most of the Guardians end up leaving to join to create another squad.
Didn't they get fired though? Didn't they get fired? I mean,
No, I feel like they quit.
No.
He was like, "Look, you can leave or you can stay."
He threatened to fire them after they said, "We're quitting." Yeah.
I feel
he
like
definitely tried to be like, "No, I still got the big dick here," and it's like, dude, okay.
I feel like it was you were gonna either do what he said or you were gonna leave. So I feel like it's like if your boss says, "Look, you got to do this shit or you're gonna get fired," and then you're like, "I quit." Well, it's like, well, did you? Because
they very much
weren't gonna do what.
superhero.
It's like you weren't gonna do what I was telling you to do anyway. So did you quit or did I just?
It's like a mutual. It feels like a mutual.
Is that what
agreement,
this?
if you,
when you get divorced, it's like, well, bitch, I didn't like you no way.
There needs to be. A
I'm sorry, we didn't hear what you said, Terry.
Oh, I was just saying, being an employee of the government like they are, there really would be a distinction, though.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where they were
If you
like,
leave, you're getting half your paycheck because you quit without a 2 weeks notice.
Well, no,
exactly. So I was like, no, they'd make a distinction though.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those things where they're like, I'm quitting, and they're like, you can't quit, you're fired. And someone calls someone's like, do you know that now we have to pay them severance?
Should have just let them leave.
Why didn't you work?
Yep.
Why did you work like that?
Never quit.
Cecil
work
later
terribly till you get fired. At least you could get unemployment.
I
Cecil
do
later
also
reflects
love that they were basically like, it was basically the superhero version of OK Boomer when they were all like, no, we're not Guardians anymore. Because it definitely split down the Boomer lines.
Okay, so what would have y'all picked? Would y'all have stayed or would you have gone?
I'm like Rudy. I'm siding with
I would've
Invincible all the way because that nigga is the strongest person on the planet. Like that's my main motivation.
I'm
That
not
nigga's the
going with
strongest
nobody.
person.
First of
I'm
all,
hanging out with him.
I'm not leaving. These niggas, they don't get paid to do nothing. Outside of this, like you leave, who's paying? I'm not leaving.
It's a very
Shit,
cartoony
I
world.
get a
I don't know
fucking
who
Disney-
pays for the team bridge data.
Rudy,
Like,
Rudy has money because he's a
Oh, yeah, he
genius
crazy
and
rich.
he's stealing
Okay.
shit.
Okay.
Fuck all
Because
that.
remember, because when they got to the team lab thing, he's like, and you know, Rex was
They
like, "We
spend-
got this building," and Rudy was like, "This building's in my name." I was like, "Yeah, Rudy has the
Rudy
money."
ain't cutting shit. Rudy ain't cutting them $1 trillion checks like they are
he
over there.
ain't cutting it, I also would have stayed based on xenophobia towards aliens. Just sorry, I'm a human-based superhero. There's a super alien. Like I see what Cecil did. I kind of would have been like, yeah, I'm kind of glad he put that shit in his ear. You need to make sure. Like I saw what his fucking daddy did. Yeah, we need to make sure we got all kinds of shit on him, bro.
Yeah, that's why
like,
Immortal was heated. Like Immortal was like,
I'm
that's
not
what you
even-
need to do with his bitch ass.
yeah. You didn't do that
Somebody
with his
need-
daddy. You should
somebody
have did that
need-
with his daddy.
His daddy should have gave him a
Right.
whooping.
Yeah, Immortal is a very
Fuck him
specific
and his
place
daddy.
of being like getting his head chopped off by a Viltrumite. Not a lot of people can get their head chopped off by a Viltrumite and be
And like, what was the other way he got killed? Didn't he get like just punched through the stomach once?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he got killed twice by this.
He's
old,
gotten
like,
he's gotten killed. And okay. I was gonna say he's been killed.
no, I
plenty
mean
of times.
specifically by
him.
Viltrumites.
Yeah.
Caesar later reflects on his first meeting with Nolan, speaking of Viltrumites, and developing his personal code to do anything to protect Earth. Later on, Mark and Eve both reconcile and they decide to start a relationship. And then,
But
that
only
leads us
because
into episode
Eve
3.
is a mature person and Mark's like, yeah, she's still hot.
Yeah, that's pretty much the relationship between Mark and Eve.
I like the way her eyes look.
Smart.
That's Mark.
Yeah.
I like the way her eyes look.
but still, you don't tell her, hey, a sad old version of you told me I should ask you out. And I think she's right.
Peekaboo.
Hey, a version of you from a Dickens novel came over.
Mark receives a new suit from Art. Oliver gets his own suit as well, but when he names himself Kid Omni-Man, just crazy name, Mark advises against it, explaining the destruction Nolan caused. Now, not only is Kid Omni-Man like kind of a bad name because it reckons back to the person who
genocide.
He said
created this huge genocide in the world, but also Kid Omni-Man.
I mean, I think that
Weird
was
name.
a joke about stupid superhero.
Well,
names
wasn't
in
it?
general.
Yeah, wasn't it Kid Omni Boy in the comics?
Yeah, it's Kid Omni-Man in the comics, and I think they like specifically nailed down. It's like this is a
Yeah, it was still Kid Omni-Man. Like,
Marvel.
I thought it was Kid Omni Boy.
Marvel
It was never Kid Omni Boy ever.
Marvel had Lady Stilts Man.
Lady
what?
Stilts Man.
Marvel
Like Rumpelstiltskin.
had a villain named Lady Stilts Man.
Jesus. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. Man,
Correct.
Marvel is actually Marvel and DC, they've been around long enough where they've gone through literally every good and bad idea that you can think of.
It's called the 80s. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Called the 80s. Yeah, cocaine was a hell of a drug.
Remember the 80s?
Yeah, what happens? Yeah, like Mark and Invincible stop a prison break that Titan arranged to free Paul to appease the order. Eve moves back in with her parents, promising not to use her powers at home if they become more accepting about her duties as a hero. And I honestly wouldn't. I saw this episode. I mean, this scene in this episode, I was kind of thinking,
do we care? Are we caring about that?
I just wasn't as interested in the storyline.
Yeah, I'm tired of the racist X-Men daddy guy. Like, he sucks.
I mean, he's also just
Racist
so
X-Men daddy.
stupid. Like,
He's just
really,
dumb, yeah.
you're this mad at your daughter that can be like, huh, well, we got to pay bills, so I'm going to turn this patch of air into a diamond. And you're like, no, she's the demon. And it's like, okay, well, you can have fun barely paying for your one-story home, you dildo.
Yeah, he's not even a smart idiot. Like, if you're a dumb, at least be smart enough to take free money.
Or if you're gonna be hateful, at least use her with your hate. Don't be like,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
but there's not
I
a lot of interesting
just
about
feel
this.
like he should have died.
God, I wish.
I
Hashtag kill Leaves dad.
Yeah,
Hashtag kill Leaves dad. I don't even remember like.
I know that's not what happens in the book, but fuck it, kill him early.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what happens with his
if
parents.
the mom goes with him too, like they were both.
The mom seems
I'm
like
fine with
she's
it.
definitely getting beat when we not seeing her.
Yeah, she's
Like the way they do it in this show, it seems like old buddy is whooping her ass when we're not seeing her.
The dude looks like he would like have a damn near a coronary by throwing 2 punches.
That's the ones be whooping their women's ass.
He would get a punch halfway to someone's face.
That's all
and
they
he'd be breathing hard like he just ran a fucking marathon.
But see, that's all he need. He just need that one slap, and he talk crazy to her and call her fat, and then that's it.
Yeah,
That's the end of that.
I'll tell you, if I had Eve's powers, it is the amount of personal injustices I would be like, I'm gonna fix this now, would be like dangerous.
Yeah, it would be like building a house and then that collapses on a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, and she does decide to go to architectural school so she can better use her powers, which I thought
Stop killing people on accident.
I always thought was interesting because when I was reading like Green Lantern comics, I feel like one of the first times I saw or heard somebody describe like the conceptualization of the Green Lantern powers as like an on like a fundamental standpoint, like architecturally and just building all these different things. I feel like they were talking to would John Stewart was like the first character where they explored that kind of stuff. It's like he is an engineer and he's like a pilot, so he knows a lot about like the inner workings of things. He knows how to.
He made a lot of military related stuff because it's like.
Yeah, they have 2 Green Lanterns that are in the military.
Yeah, and Guy Gardner was a cop. But like with Stewart's, they would say like when he would create like bridges or like beams to hold things up, they would say like you could see every nut and bolt in the thing. And it was actually part of what made his construct stronger was because in his mind, he's putting all of that into all of them. And so that's just making it more real in his mind, which is making the structure more real in real life as well.
Right.
Yeah,
he ain't making no pinatas over here.
Yeah, I like that touch with
tanks.
her. I like that touch with her her knowledge. Like she wants to be able to get to that level where she can construct things with that kind of complexity.
But anywho,
then later, then later the Mahler twins. Great transition. Later, the Mahler twins break into a missile silo, planning to launch an EMP device to destroy the world's communication systems, and they incapacitate the attacking Guardians. And Mark destroys the missile while Oliver, against Debbie and Mark's wishes, kills the Mahler twins.
The Mahler twins always have
Murder.
an elaborate scheme that if it did work, it would be the most incredible thing ever.
They're twin Dr. Evils.
A lot of times, just like, why do y'all keep being evil? Like, bro, would you just help us and be good? For like, I feel like Cecil, like, if there were like somebody Cecil needed to kidnap and like do that shit to, it would be one of the Mahler twins. Like, catch one of those motherfuckers.
Actually, yeah.
But
like,
they're always trying to come up with the most grandiose plan. I'm like, maybe y'all should consider scaling down.
Yeah, just a little bit,
right?
A little bit.
You're very much
or it's like 2 Keenans put together with no L.
Their level of villainy has just It's like they reaching for Joker levels, man. They need to come back down to Firefly levels. Come back down here a little bit.
Yeah.
They're only happy with sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Laser beams.
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy that Cecil didn't recruit them at some point, but maybe they're just a little too intelligent. Like maybe they're not susceptible to whatever very suspicious psychological
it's their
treatment
level
that Sinclair and Darkwing went through.
Yeah, it's their level of arrogance and incapability of accepting that they're wrong in any way, shape, or form, which is why they always lose because they can't stop arguing with each other. They're the most self-centered people in the world. That's why they created a clone of themselves. Would you think that would work out for you? But nope. Yeah, you love you so much, you create one of yourselves, and you hate yourself.
It's very narcissistic behavior, and obviously, it's not going to turn out well. But I do want to play this clip, in the aftermath of Mark talking to Oliver, in the aftermath of Oliver killing
of the murder.
Yes, of the murder.
I get that you didn't mean to murder the Maulers. You can't just kill people and pretend it's no big deal.
You killed the guy who broke Mom's arm.
Oliver, it's wrong.
You and Mom say I need to be responsible with my powers. Isn't it responsible to make sure that the bad guys never hurt anyone else?
Life is precious. We don't just take it.
People kill each other all the time, and most people aren't even special like us. They're just normal.
You sound just like Dad.
And that's
I do love that he was literally drenched in blood.
Covered in blood.
Yeah, for those who don't know, he's purple. Actually, he's not red.
He's not red.
He's not Mauler guts red.
Which question? You think that's the end of the Maulers now?
I have a feeling no.
You think they
all right, I just kind of hope not, but I feel like no, because it's too smart.
I feel like I shouldn't say anything because I've read ahead of the class.
It's just a question. Because if you don't say that, then nobody would think anything different about if you just said yes or no. But now
I
can't.
don't remember.
I can't say yes or no because I know what the answer is.
We do know that he is read ahead, and for me, it was so long ago since I read ahead, and I never finished the entire series that I just don't remember.
I feel like somebody got some Mauler DNA hanging around somewhere. Maybe even Cecil. Maybe Cecil has it.
Well,
maybe the Mauler twins are just like a big test. Like
I would really love.
Test. They just keep testing them, and that's how he keeps the superheroes trained with the Mauler twins.
I would really love it if Cecil had gotten them to make the cloning machine, but like they're all like 1.5 feet tall. And he just got them running around.
Baby Maulers, little Maulers running around everywhere, like Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. Those like weird little marshmallow things from the new Ghostbusters.
They would never get anything done. They just argue with each other all the time.
It sounds like you're thinking,
Mr. Stay Puft.
Yes, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's funny you say that because
yes. Yeah.
My change.
Fuck yes.
Keep my change.
That's a good coffee mug. That's a good change mug.
What y'all just pull shit? Y'all just pull shit like out of nowhere. Y'all just be like this. Well, I do got this.
Well, I do actually have Seth Rogen right here.
Yeah. Y'all be pulling all kinds of. I do have a bazooka. Speaking,
I had one issue with this episode. It's the way that Mark's mom keeps trying to treat Oliver. Like, I just want him to have a normal childhood. It was like, he's not a normal child, lady. On his planet,
purple.
If he wasn't half Viltrumite, he would have had like 2 hours worth of a childhood. He's already had enough childhood for his species.
If he was full
like there's
blooded
nothing
him species,
normal.
he'd be dead.
Yeah, he would
Right?
totally
Okay.
He'd be dead already.
He'd be dead already. Like there's nothing normal. Everything that you're doing to him, whether that you think is normal, is his first fucking time. That's not normal to him. Nothing you can do will be normal for him ever. There is no normal. And she just keeps harping on it. It's like, look, you just need to let this little nigga be a superhero because he's not normal.
I would disagree because she did raise Mark, and also she knew that Mark was going to get his powers one day, so she raised him with all of this in mind. And also,
Mark is half human, so she had.
Yes, but we've already, we've already established in this show and in the comic book that Viltrumites aren't inherently bad. They just have a fucked up system that they live in, which is why we've seen this turn of Omni-Man throughout the series so far. I also, like, she would be in this universe, she is considered the reason that Mark is good, because he's a dickhead in every other universe that we've seen so far.
I haven't really gotten that far.
And
well, it was at the
Angstrom said it in the last season. He said this is
I wasn't sure if they like revealed about, you know, the kind of like connecting piece of why most of them turned out to be dicks.
Well, she is the constant for this Mark.
Yeah.
And I actually, I have a this t-shirt with multiple marks.
Yeah, I was noticing that. I saw that. I was like, oh,
your shirt,
I was like, damn. I was thinking, like, damn, when do I get to that part in the book? I want to keep reading some more.
Alex can probably tell you where to go.
My favorite is that picture of Spider Mark in the corner there.
Yeah, Spider Mark. Yeah, this is a good one.
All the marks. The well, never mind. Ooh, almost spoiled some more.
Did not drop that yellow cake.
Did not drop that yellow cake.
But one of the things that I really like about this comic book and like what this TV show has done really well as well is just like the theme of morality, just like the different layers of morality. We have met characters who seem like straight up assholes, like, you know, Rexplode.
First asshole we introduced you.
Who just seems like kind of a piece of shit. But then like we meet other characters like Nolan, who seems also like a piece of shit because he committed genocide, but also he's not as other characters that we've met and other characters that we will meet later on in the story.
Based on the other Viltrumites we've met, he's a fucking hippie.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's a tree hugging
Willie Nelson.
He's a tree hugging.
Well, no, because we have met one Viltrumite that is the true hippie.
He is the real Willie Nelson.
Beard man.
Yeah,
I just love it how he just removed the beard and all of a sudden he's like, "You're a fucking Viltrumite." I was like,
"He's the Willie."
I don't think that was in the comic either. And then he took off his beard.
He's the Willie Nelson, but Nolan is definitely like the Paul McCartney or goddamn who is he? Who is he? He's
Johnny Cash.
John Lennon, because he's kind of an asshole.
John Lennon, yeah, he's John Lennon. Boom, bing bong. Sorry for you people out there who don't want to hear John Lennon was an asshole. Sorry,
he kind of was.
He kind of was. He's also in the most overrated band in all of history, but it's okay.
Second.
But yeah, like I do like the different morality levels with all the characters that we're gonna see. Like, and it seems like that's kind of a common thematic through line through the comic book and was gonna be through the movie, especially like, you know, with these last two episodes with Cecil and Mark. It's like there's a lot of levels to morality when you're trying to save the world. Like there's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make, and there are a lot of allowances that you have to make. And, you know, like you can't have this one-way street. It's like you just killed somebody at the finale of the last season, and now you're talking about how murdering is wrong.
Squeeze his head into a grape. You did.
So
motherfucker made prune juice out this nigga's head.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Ben Parker would have a lot of things to say to Mark.
You know,
in this moment.
You can't always go headstrong. You see, sometimes we have to take care of the people around us. That requires a lot of responsibility. You see, with great power comes great New York boobs.
Rumsky.
Y'all thought I wasn't going to close that with a funny, but
while talking with Oliver, Mark notices a floating drone-like orb that is spying on the Grayson household, which detonates in his hand as he catches it. The drone belongs to Engstrom, who survived his previous encounter with Mark and is watching his house.
Spoiler alert! They didn't say it was Engstrom.
They didn't say it was Engstrom. Like
they didn't show him either.
Said.
Yeah, you just straight up said it too. Spoilers.
Listen to his voice.
Yeah, I mean, it also if you watch on Amazon, you just hit the down button and see who it is. Amazon be ruining everything.
They really do.
The caption be like telling you the character's name before you even see him. Like, God damn, I didn't even know his name. I just hear his voice in the background. Paul. Who's Paul?
Now, I will say, like, when I was reading the comic book, I heard Jeffrey Wright's voice when I was reading Engstrom Levy. But I'm not mad at Sterling K. Brown. He's doing a really good job, and I'm excited to see him come back.
He was too busy doing What If.
And
yeah, right.
He was too busy doing a show that comes out every year. I'm like, I gotta get a check.
He's also got a Hulu show with Cyclops now.
Ooh.
Oh, is he on that James Marsden? No, yeah, Sterling K. Brown. Yeah, I heard that Paradise is really good.
I've heard that too. I just don't have time.
I've heard
we have so many shows.
We have so many shows. Speaking of which, going to be talking about common side effects on Thursday, 8:15 p.m. baby.
That is true. Well, yeah. What did you guys think about like this ending? And like, are you excited to see some more Engstrom? Do you do you think that what do you how do you feel about Engstrom still being alive?
Well, there's always going to be some Engstroms, baby.
Yeah, actually, yeah. There's a lot of Engstroms out there.
There's an infinite amount of
but only one with telepowers.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
he is the Engstromist Engstrom.
Or maybe this is the most Engstromist Engstrom because he's Engstromed himself above all the other Engstroms.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like a Jet Li situation where he kills all the other Engstroms and he becomes more powerful.
Yeah. I'm Yuna. I'm nobody's bitch. The best line in cinematic history.
Oh man, cinematic history. Because in television history, it's Miss Wong. Get the marshmallows. That's my history of television.
That's pretty great. But yeah, I'm
I've been on
excited.
mute this whole fucking time.
Oh well,
really? It's the perfect time to ask you how you feel.
Exactly.
About,
I was just about to say the same thing.
Sterling K. Brown as Engstrom, but also like about Engstrom's reemergence in the series.
Resurgence.
I didn't really like Engstrom too much as a character. I was kind of hoping he was gone for good and we were done with him. So real upset that he's back. I'm like, oh well, what is it? How does he have multiples of himself? I'm thinking maybe it's like a time travel situation type deal. I can see that, I guess, but I was hoping he was gone. And then I was talking about I really wish there was a sequel to Jet Li's The One and they could have called it The Two.
The Deuce.
Yes.
Isn't it
That
just
would've been
Highlander
great.
with your own body? I don't know. Anyway,
But
I'm gonna get Terry.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm gonna get Terry a hate button. I need a button that just does the player's ball.
Yeah.
Hate.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with hated it.
Oh, we got that
We got one of
actually.
those.
We have that. Should have been using that one. Yeah, you know what? You're smart.
We talked about this a little bit last season, but it is interesting, that this comic book was written, back in like 2010, I think.
20 some years ago.
Yeah, like about around 2010, 2011, when the storyline was running, where we have this character that's basically like, the Kang character that they were trying to develop in the MCU that just kind of fell apart because people didn't really respond to it well, and also
I
other
thought it
stuff.
was because
also other stuff.
It ain't got nothing to do with respond.
But yeah, like I feel like
Because they hate the black man.
But I feel like this storyline was a way of just definitely exploring that multiversal concept, but also very, very truncated. It's not branching out into a whole bunch of different storylines. This is very personal of this guy having a vendetta against Mark,
right,
and using those powers in that aspect. So
yeah.
I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Kang didn't make it, because
R.I.P. Kang.
A lot of situations, really, But what I will say is, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever, no matter what situation you're in, no matter how dire it may seem, don't ever pick a white woman up and put her into a car.
Not if she's a stranger, for sure.
Well, yeah, that's kidnapping. I was talking about your significant other or otherwise, but yeah, don't do it to a stranger, obviously.
But yeah, like I
thought that was a good one.
How do you? Yeah, that's a good one. How did you feel about Angstrom as a villain, Mark?
I thought he already.
Oh, you already? Yeah, you're already.
I like him as a villain.
Oh, I just thought you already said it. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I like him as a villain. I kind of like the fact that he's just a petty bitch. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that this guy's got these insane powers, and because he just didn't think one thing through, he just turned into super petty.
Yeah,
he's
super
Tom
petty.
Yeah,
super petty.
Motherfucker's free falling.
Yeah, exactly. He really is.
Yeah,
But
I
hey,
feel like
he loves his mama.
I feel like most superheroes have like kind of a duality with their villains. Some people have.
We just saw it with the Dark Knight right now, earlier at the beginning of Jeff's comic book corner.
Yeah, for
White
sure.
Knight.
Yeah. Where we have like the characters, like I feel like people have their physical adversaries and their mental adversaries. Like Superman has Luthor and he has Darkseid, like someone who can combat with him mentally and someone who can combat with him physically.
Yeah,
and I feel like Angstrom is definitely the psychological combatant for Invincible. We'll get his,
but he also
physical
has powers too. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, he definitely does have powers, but I feel like we already saw last season he can't really match with him physically. So
it's like Professor X though. Motherfucker's in a goddamn wheelchair, but you don't want to run up on him.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how it is. You don't want to run up on one of them. Oh, never mind. No.
Right, but
I was about
but more just like like he's much more like Luthor, where he's gonna figure out ways to outsmart you, and we're definitely gonna get the physical adversary to Mark in this season, or at least I hope. I don't really know how this story is gonna play out in this
You don't
season.
know nothing.
But guys, let them know what you thought of this episode or these last 3 episodes. What do you think is gonna happen over the
this
course of
episode?
This
Next week is gonna be way shorter, guys. Do not fucking trip.
Yeah, not as many episodes to cover.
Like 2 episodes to cover. And we try to make it more efficient over here every single time.
But it might still be 4 hours. Who knows?
Next week's Invincible episode will only be 47 minutes.
Oh, look at that! So you guys are gonna, it's gonna be a really good week next week right here on the Drunk Banthas podcast.
And next week's or this week's Severance is 46 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Well, I was gonna say, everybody, make sure you go over to the Nerds at Night and the Drunk Banthas channel and make sure you hit like and subscribe. Everybody here that you see is a Bantha, and everybody here that you see is a nerd, and we all work at night. So make sure you go over there and support us. We really appreciate everybody watching.
Absolutely. Producer T, where can the people find you on the interwebs or whatever your clones, whichever?
You can find me. Go to my Instagram and then go to T-Pens Co. That's the best place to find me. Go get you some pins. I also have these limited edition ones that'll probably be going on public sale pretty soon.
That Afro Samurai is so dope.
So let me know. I got those. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Find me on my Instagram.
Fuck yeah.
You can find it right.
Mark, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
I thank you for asking. before I go there, Bill, I think the best name I came up for the music channel is Nerd Found Glory. You can
Found Glory.
Yeah, I've got other options as well.
Yeah, you just text me the other ones.
You can always try and Skype me, Don Cheadle's driveway at littledickie2.com. It's
because of the hackers.
Because of the hackers.
Damn. You can find Jeff Madel on Facebook at MadelJeff on Instagram, but the easiest is always just to see me sitting here spacing out on Monday nights.
Well, awesome. Boy, I thought Alex was going to give you another drop because he was touching buttons, but he didn't.
I did
you deserve one.
Thank you for listening to the Drunk Banthas podcast. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific time ish. But don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get updates on new videos. Check us out on Twitter, IG, TikTok, Letterboxd, likewise, all the internet things at the Drunk Banthas. Until next time, stay safe, my little morally ambiguous Viltrumites. And may the force be with you.
Shout out to Morgan. Shout out to Little Frothy. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to everybody that was out there. Shout out to, those who weren't. Bye.